This podcast contains adults using adult language. You have been warned.
Looking back on the past where we still had a chance. We were pawns in a game that we could not win.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing today? It is Sunday. It is a little bit after 4 o'clock. It's summer. I think we should play some
This is
Dungeons
true.
and Dragons.
I think that if we don't play Dungeons and Dragons, I'm gonna regret the time that I just spent waiting to play Dungeons. And Dragons.
I'm gonna riot, man.
I'm gonna be kind of mad.
I'm gonna do some stuff. So, hey, I am St. Brian. I am gonna be the dungeon master once again. I have reclaimed my throne from the erstwhile Clues, who is not here today because she is on the road, I believe. So today we will be clueless. Well, we're usually clueless.
I was hoping that you weren't gonna make that joke.
Listen, low hanging fruit. We have to.
I guess.
Okay.
And now I got on the road again, putting in my head.
On
the road
Just
again.
Oh. Copyright infringement.
No, it's really Nelson. He's just
He doesn't care. He loves it when people sing his songs.
we just got to hook him up with some of the ickiest the stickiest of the
TOS.
icky, the ickiest of the sticky.
Oh.
Hey, I am St. Brian. I'm going to be your dungeon master for this evening. We are going to play some Team X. Back to the main plot line after we had a couple weeks of a very wonderful and delightful diversion where we played some new characters, and while we did not we didn't beat Tiamat, but
You lived through it.
I tickled
lived
him.
through it, which I call that thwarted even, which I would consider I call that a win. I mean, so that's kind of where we are, but we're not doing that right now. That is not what we are doing right now. We're going to do back to Team X. So we are going to partake in the ancient ritual of introducing ourselves, and then we will get to a little recap, and then we're going to play some Did. So usually we would start with Miss Clues, the dragon, but she is not here. So we are going to then advance the position onto a goat.
Okay, guess we can do
This
it that way.
specific goat.
Hi, I'm Viking Goat. I play Thynic General Trunk, everyone's favorite happy-go-lucky nature domain cleric. We all know who he is.
we
He's
know
our
what he's.
capybara-shaped friend.
We know what
Yes.
he's about.
Who thinks everything is edible, provided it is
You
a
knew
jerk.
who this was.
And continuing on,
I am Blind Cleric. I'm playing Hugon Valander, human fighter, and soon to either be 1, werewolf killer, 2, werewolf food, 3, werewolf.
These are all valid valid possibilities.
And I am Roz, also known as Purple Monkey Robots, and I'm playing Eno, the tiefling bard who is sleeping in a monastery, I guess. I don't know. I'm in a monastery right now. That's all I remember.
Yes.
That's right.
Well,
You
hey,
guys didn't die.
no, they did not die. In fact, now would be an excellent time for us to do a quick recap because it has been about a month since we've done the whole Team X thing.
that long?
Yeah, it's been about that long, almost. Between Memorial Day, 2 weeks of shenanigans with Clues sitting in my chair, which I have reclaimed.
It's still warm.
It is, but anyway. So okay, to recap, when we last saw our heroes, they had taken in the most wise and ancient of traditions of splitting the party, where Drenmai Gemweaver and Eno had traveled back through the Shadowgate to the monastery, where they had not only forgotten their book that they originally went there to get in their haste at some point in the library. They also went
It
with
wasn't haste. It was Thunuk being like, "This isn't important." Chuck.
Hey, as we discussed off camera earlier, when you explain something to an 8-year-old that you're supposed to go get something, and then that thing is not the
You have to
thing,
be very specific.
you have to be specific.
You have to be very specific.
And still not surprised.
Still,
You gotta lower the bar.
Fair,
So
lower the
lower the bar. So and then they had the 2 submissions while they were there. We could call it like Mission 1 and then Mission 1A and Mission 1B. Mission 1A was to put the sacred egg that Dren devoured back. Of course, not the original egg, just the one she fabricated to look like the egg, the silver dragon egg that she had consumed, and also to retrieve Beatty,
Bitty.
their little
Buck?
Hmm?
Buck.
Buck. That's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, Beatty. I'm thinking Beatty as like Beatty. Yeah, Buck. They
Buck,
went
the
to,
spherical information droid.
yes, they went to retrieve him, where they encountered another adventuring party who had been laying claim to their Team X's exploits, hoping to take advantage of them having disappeared for several months. They were able to essentially sort all of that out. They were
With
essentially
violence. With
Wi-
violence.
there was some violence, but it was quickly
was a-
quelled.
There was a tactical application of violence.
There was shocking grasp. There was the application of deep-seated fears of horse-sized ducks, and victory was essentially achieved. The record was set straight, and they have been waiting for the gate to reopen from the Chandlewood side of things, from the Pinedale side of things, where our other heroes have been. Our other heroes, Thunuk General Trunk and Hugon Valander, where in addition to Hugon setting up now, weaning some of the members of the Town Watch out, basically dragooning them and press ganging them all into internships with Acquisitions Incorporated, which we are very official now because frickin' Jerry just flat out said we are an official franchise on stream, that we are an official franchise.
When did
of
that
Acquisitions.
happen?
When he opened the gifts.
Yes.
Oh,
Weeks
right.
ago.
I recall that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we
That's
are.
like we also had like the letter, which was the very first one.
Mm-hmm.
I-
But this is
I'm-
like official, because it's like, oh, letter, here, guys, take the letter. And then it's like, no, on stream, hey, Team X, they're official franchise of Acquisitions Incorporated. So, hey, cool. But anyway, so yeah, Hugon Valander had press ganged all of the people that were part of the Town Watch into his tender embrace in order to.
I'm helping them.
He's
Helping them suck less. It's very important.
It
It's
is
public
impossible to forge a sword without hitting something with a hammer.
And if that something goes crunch, well,
Oh, listen, that's
I guess, I
that
guess
steel.
we'll move
That
on to
steel
next
didn't need to be there. So he's been trying to forge them into a more effective fighting force, knowing that there are dark things in the night that go bump, and Hugon would like to bump back, with maybe a few more people at his back, with sharp, pointy things that can bump back. Thunuk discovered essentially a warforged down in the caves beneath Pinedale, where the Meanlocks from last season had arisen, and possible that it was part of some ancient society, some ancient civilization in the area, and also, oh yeah, there's a werewolf loose in Pinedale. And during the course of Hugon and Thunuk starting to make preparations to deal with this new menace, Thunuk has accidentally forgotten to reopen the gate to allow Dren and Eno to come back through. So they're just sort of waiting at the door, kind of like, any day now. Yeah, he's gonna open it any minute now. And Hugon, using his intimidation, was able to
Yes.
convince a merchant, a purveyor of fine arms,
Quality stabbings.
quality weapons, made with the mithril of the mines that come from the from the Fire Steep. He convinced him basically to have what amounted to, I guess, like a blank check. Kid in a
It was
candy
essentially sober up or start losing fingers. and- Open your inventory. We have a werewolf problem.
We'll deal with payment later.
Oh no, there's not even a discussion of payment. I'm rent.
Well,
I'll
you-
borrow these and I might bring them back.
They might be in one piece, might be in a couple
be, exactly.
pieces. We're product. It's product testing. It's
It's product testing. Have you ever really hit anything that hit back with these? I don't believe you.
I don't think you have. You don't look like you've hit anything ever in your life. So this is where we lay our scene. So I think that we're gonna start this afternoon and evenings game because we're kind of in that weird afternoon evening transition area, at least on the East Coast at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's kind of like, is it evening? Is it afternoon? It's
Both.
Is it both? Is it neither?
I don't know. I usually consider 4 to 5 second or third meal time.
Second noon. Yes, but what about luncheon?
Listen,
Afternoon tea,
I do,
dinner,
not, I, do
supper?
not, I do not allow myself to be boxed in by such antiquated notions of times to eat.
Yes, but what about second breakfast?
I eat when I feel like it.
I eat when I'm hungry. But that is where we lay our scene at the moment. So we have Hugon wearing his mask because I'm sure at this point he's werewolf mask goes on, armor deployed, ready to go. He's got, I believe, Thunika's with him, as well as Captain Chase, Captain Captain Case of the Pinedale Guard. All standing in this. Now, so this is like this weapon store, this weapon shop, is basically like. I'm gonna say it's kind of like a combination here. As far as quality goes, it's probably like the Williams Sonoma of like weaponry, where it's all like, higher end stuff available for retail purchase. Like you could get higher like commercial grade things, but you have to go to a very specific purveyor for that. But I'm also thinking it's kind of like that scene in John Wick 2 where Keanu goes in to get fitted for the suit and starts packing out with all of his weapons. He has basically he asks to see. Have you seen John Wick 2?
No,
I have not.
Seen any of the John
I have
Wicks.
not. I have not seen any of the John Wicks. But there is a scene that's available on YouTube where basically Keanu comes in and goes, "Is the sommelier in?" And he sees basically the sommelier, but it's all for guns.
Yeah.
And that's essentially where you find yourself. You find yourself in what is essentially an above-ground wine cellar, but instead of wine, it's just racks upon racks upon racks of high-end mithril weaponry of various shapes, sizes, and function.
Gotcha.
And I would think that even under the mask, and maybe even because the mask is on, in my head canon, maybe it's one of the few times where you would see Hugon going like, but completely stoic, completely
Visible
stoic.
excitement.
The mask is completely stoic. He's wearing the mask of Delotha. You would never know. Maybe the pinpricks of light like flare a little bit,
briefly.
but underneath, if you had it underneath, it would be Hugon like
Yay!
like the happiest you've ever seen Hugon.
Kid in a candy store.
Kid in a candy store.
I'm sort of like imagining his pinpricks. If you looked real close with like a microscope, you'd actually see little smiley faces instead of like.
They're actually shaped like if you got closer, they're actually smiling eyes.
They're actually emotes. It's just we can't see it because we're not looking close enough.
Because they're burning so intensely. But if you turn it down, it's a big smiley face right there. Yeah. Hey, Philip, before we do this, give me a perception check.
Okay, 1 second. Perception. Where's my 20? Here's a 20. Oh crap. So that is a total of a 5. I rolled a 1.
You just like shiny things.
Okay. It's a lot of shiny things in here.
So, Hugon,
What would you like me to do?
what would you like? No. What would you like to do? You've already kowtowed the.
This is true.
You've kowtowed the purveyor. The
I seem to recall
shopkeeper.
him leaving me the keys.
No, he stayed in there, but he went and unlocked everything with you. You basically did your intimidation. Basically, like you're going to do this, and if I remember, you crit on that, And
I
while
did.
I know there's no such thing in the book that says you can't crit on skill checks,
It's fun.
you know what? Screw it. I decided that you could crit on skill checks in our game, and that's what you could do in Dungeons and Dragons, and that's just the way things are gonna be. So, um,
I wasn't going to argue.
because it benefits you, but it goes
Because
both
it
ways.
directly benefited me.
This blade cuts both ways, but it's okay. It's okay.
Um,
So yes, so he basically went around and, if I could paint this picture for you a little bit, all of this is like fine, like almost like ebony looking, like, well-made cabinetry throughout the room, on the walls. Like they have like the tables that have like the view. You know, you could look into the table, kind of like at a jeweler.
mhm.
Where they have like an array of like daggers, and they're not just laying there haphazard. No. They have
They're
like,
styled and like fanned out.
well, no, they actually have. You can see where they actually have, like it's shaped underneath, so like the daggers can lay in their own specific
Oh,
spot.
okay.
You know, it's made like almost like, not die cut, not like laser cut where it's in. It's like raised up, but you could see that this was, you know, they're very, very nicely displayed, polished, no fingerprints on these whatsoever. And as he comes in and as he goes around and he's unlocking all the cabinets, because this is not the kind of place where this is not where you just have the weapons laying around in a barrel and, okay, is this sword good? Is this sword good? This is not
This
like,
is not the Walmart of weaponry.
this is not like picking out a golf club at the driving range. This is like, you know, this is high-end stuff here. So as he goes around, you hear a very satisfying and solid, like, clicking noise as the key is sliding into these locks and turning smoothly. And then these, as the doors are being opened on all of these. Some of them are cabinets that are standing up for like the longer things. You know, he's got swords, daggers, all sorts of different melee weapons that would use mithril in their construction are
right,
engaged here. And as he opens these things, it's almost like there's like a little, not fairy fire, but almost like there's like a phosphorescent, like moss or something that's actually lighting these cabinets. So you can actually see what's inside the cabinets.
Now, just before we dive into actually acquiring the weapons,
Yes. Tell me what you would like to know.
I would like to know: are all of these weapons? Do they look like they're made by the same person?
You know, that is a really good question. Why don't you roll a perception check?
Okay.
We have a way of determining this.
I have a 15 total.
No, you can see that there are a few different smithies at work here. You could just tell there's a few different construction methods. You're seeing some Damascus steel. And for those who haven't seen Damascus steel, if you ever see steel that has like the wavy lines in it, it's from the different layers being compressed and forged in a certain way. And you can see some are done in specific patterns. But yeah, you can see that there are some different manufacturers here. You could tell, maybe you wouldn't be able to pick out all the different lines. Like, oh, this is like 8 different smiths versus 15 different smiths. But you can see enough differences where it's like, oh, handle construction here. You can see that this is like a particular school of thought you've seen with certain approaches.
Do they have any sort of like hallmark of a type of like a culture of crafting? Like, do any of these like dwarven, elven, human, orcish, gnomish, halfling? That sort of-
So you're able to pick up on some embellishments in there that might one way or another tell you that, okay, this might be more of a dwarven
Gotcha.
construction. It might be a little boxier. Maybe you're gonna see some runes in there. Maybe the balance is slightly different or someplace. But you're seeing it seems like in Pinedale, while the smiths and artisans there all have their own culture they bring to it, and they have their own styles that they bring to it. There's a lot of sharing of information within the trade.
Okay.
So you could see where there's elements, a hybridization almost of elements of, say, traditional elvish smithing versus brought in with elements of dwarven and not in some of them. Some of them look like they might flat out be like a dwarven sword. Some look like a flat out elven sword, like like kind of curvy and leaf like. You see some human one, but you're seeing a really a wide variety. But you can see that's kind of how they're organized.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, because there's not very many people I trust that can work Mithril, and in terms of like the complexity of forging something that is both super light and super durable.
You know that because Pinedale is known for their mithril and because of the high quality mithril that comes out of there, that generally speaking, if you're forging mithril in Pinedale and you're not good at it,
you don't get to work.
You're not going to stick around. You're going to be gonna be hard. You're going to be hard pressed to pass your apprenticeship to get to journeyman. You're not going to be able to, you might have one of those guys, I'm sure, that like stuck around for a while and wasn't very good at it and got kicked out of their apprenticeship and then went out in the world, was like, oh no, I learned how to smith in Pinedale and mind you, if anyone were to ever question it and go in, you'd be like, what the...
Your technique is awful. You said you learned
There's
this in
only
Pinedale?
so many master smiths in Pinedale. It's like it's
I know Greg. Yeah. He
Yeah,
didn't teach your
Greg,
ass.
yeah, Greg, exactly. Well, I mean, so to give you an example, for a while there were also only so many jujitsu black belts in the United States. And when someone said, "Oh yeah, I trained jujitsu and I'm blah 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 blah," it's like, well, okay, who'd you get your black belt from? And if they couldn't tell you, you knew they were lying, or they would
And you like
tell
call
you.
their number, be like, "Hey, did you train this guy?"
No, that happened all the time. Oh, I got my black belt under this guy, and be like, all right, and they'd call up, hey, so and so, this guy said he got his black belt from me. They're like, who the fuck is that?
Okay,
And-
well, cool. I'm gonna come pull his arms out of their sockets.
Yeah, but it was like for a while. It's still kind of a small community like that, but that's sort of the same thing with Pinedale, where it's like, you just from the time you have spent there, you do know that there is, while there's friendly competition. Right, but in the end, they all still know that in the end, there's a certain level of quality they want to come out of there. And here, this is where you're seeing the top echelon of weaponry that they're producing.
Right.
Hugon needs a moment.
Hugo will actually look to Captain Case and check to see what weapon he is using.
He carries like kind of like a standard sword.
So like a long sword.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, it's not. The weapon he carries is very utilitarian. There was never, it was probably something that he picked up at some point. Maybe had it fixed, patched, made better in one of the smithies here. But it looks like his sword looks pretty well seasoned.
Yeah.
Well taken care of. It's well taken care of, but it is well seasoned. You can see this is not,
So like very delicately, Hugo will remove one of like the long swords that looks about the length that he uses, and sort of like the same handle construction, and just sort of hand it off to him.
Give me another perception check.
It's another 15.
This sword is perfectly balanced.
Yeah.
Light. It is light. But as you're picking it up, you naturally feel it feels like the blade and the and the handle same weight. You just feel it just so as you move it, like as you go to like you put the sword and you like flip it around to hand it, because you don't hand a sword by the blade. Well, maybe Hugon has handed a sword blade first to people before, but
It wasn't a friendly handing.
It wasn't.
It wasn't
not a mutual handing.
This wasn't a friendly high five.
Take that.
Yeah. No, but so and as you do that, it like the sword almost wants to do exactly like almost before you think about it. Like the moment the thought enters your mind, before before that thought has reached the end of the synapses of your fingers, the sword is like almost doing it, and you hand it to him. And
Captain,
yeah.
We're probably going to need more hands on this than I have, so I don't know if you know anything about fighting werewolves, but this should at least help in that regard.
He says, what little I do know is that we should not have we need to let people know not to engage. They
Well, yeah.
well, if
They'll get torn to shreds.
yes. I think there's not many here with the skills that we need. So I think that whatever force we come to bear is going to have to be quality over quantity.
Which is why you're getting this sword.
And he takes
To
it.
borrow.
To-
And he kind of like holds up a finger. To borrow.
And in my head, it just, this is with him like a metallic resonance to it because he's
Yeah.
speaking from behind
Like
this.
like a tinny sound.
Yeah,
to it.
like almost like a Vader sound, right? Kind of like it's almost processed as it's coming.
It's got some modular effects happening.
Yeah. And he nods his head, and he takes he unsheathes his regular service sword, lays it down next to one of the cabinets, takes like a few like swings just to get used to the balance and weight of this, and you can see it's almost like humming through the air, like this. It almost like a whistling noise, and he quickly and then like a little he does like that samurai flourish where it flips around, boop, and then right in, and it's well practiced.
Mhm.
So this is obviously someone who's
The very next thing that Hugon looks for is the biggest, heaviest, blunt object that he can find.
well, Thunix
Which-
standing right next to you.
Well, right, but like I'm talking like an enormous two-handed weapon
Mm-hmm.
that he can wield in one hand.
That Hugon can or Thunuk can?
That Thunuk can, because Thunuk
Oh.
is large, and these are probably all human-sized, so to speak, weaponry.
So you can ask the purveyor, your sommelier.
Yeah.
And he says,
I need something that he can use,
Mhm.
but it's going to need to be basically a two-handed weapon for a man. Will be almost too small for him.
He says, yes. I believe we have something that might be able to suit your needs.
Well-
Please, with me. And he walks over to one of the cabinets, one of like almost the floor-to-ceiling cabinets,
Mhm.
unlocks the door, and he opens it up. And
Wasn't he super drunk last time?
He was, and I made him not that way.
Oh, he sobered up pretty hard.
Well, like I said, it's either you can start being sober or you can count with the fingers you don't have.
and he says, yes, I can. Allow me to show you what we have in stock. And he opens up this cabinet, which is almost like on barn doors that opens up. And here, hanging on this, everything in the store is like really well made, right? And he's got it hanging. He's got all these large, like anywhere between 6 and 8 foot long. This is like the large and tall side of things, right? And this is
Got a big and tall section.
big and tall, but for weapons. And this is where like the halberds are. This is where like the spears, like the boar spears, all of their and so you have a variety of items in here, ranging from and he says, if I may be so bold as to make a suggestion for the gentleman, and he reaches in and he pulls out this basically staff that for you is it's probably got a good 2 inches, 2.5 inches thick, haft, perfectly straight piece of it looks like hickory. No ornamentation on it whatsoever, but it looks it's on each end is this ball, like globe of mithril. And he says, this might be something that would fit the gentleman's needs. It's 8 foot tall, hickory, finely finished to not allow any kind of splinters in the hands while still providing excellent grip. And the ends are drop forged steel spheres that have been plated in mithril, so that way you have the advantages and lightness of the mithril, but you have the weight of the steel.
Hugon like takes it from him and
It's-
hands Thunuk.
It is, but as you take it, it is heavy.
Right, I imagine so. It's like took it expecting it to be like, oh, okay, I can pick this up to like,
Yeah, it is a lot heavier than it looks.
Ugh.
Yeah, this is.
and so he passes that off to Thunuk with a just like kind of a look like, don't swing this indoors.
Thunuk's been picking his nose this entire time. He's got no idea what's going on.
And it, like Hugon snaps like, Thunuk, hey, focus,
Huh?
focus.
Huh?
Take this weapon,
Okay.
and we're gonna hunt a werewolf.
And he starts walking out the door.
No.
And that's all he wanted, because the last thing he wants in here is a bull in a china shop or a feral bulk in a weapons store.
So, same thing. Thunuk, as you leave out, as you walk outside, you're hit with the cool air of the summer evening. Give me another perception check.
Okay.
Or actually, no. Give me just a straight intelligence check. We'll do that.
We're counting floor rolls.
No, we are
No,
not
that
counting.
is that is
floor
Jack.
rolls.
Unless
You
it's,
know that.
unless it's a 20.
I mean, it was a really nice roll. It wasn't a 20, but it was a really nice roll. Ooh, that's a 19 plus you said intelligence? Ooh, that's going to be a negative modifier. Hold on a second.
You got a
17.
19, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, 17 total.
You just remembered something.
Oh. He stops as he's exiting. And again, I just remembered something. He looks around, realizes who's missing. Hugon, I'm supposed to open a door. I'll be right back. And
Don't lose the staff.
right before you said that, he starts he's as if he's putting the staff down to lean up against the doorway, and he's like he holds it back up.
He's like,
back to
oh
himself.
no.
Nope.
Oh.
Holds it close to himself, and he's like, okay, and he's like starts jogging towards back to the inn, and he pushes he's holding the button down on his gauntlets to communicate with everyone, not remembering that this is a short range communications device. Hey guys, are you ready? Should I open the door? Hello, guys. Oh, they're angry at me. He just assumes that they're angry with him and are not responding because of that. He's getting the silent treatment, so he's jogging for the back to the end.
No. They're gonna be so mad. I forgot to do the laundry. That child moment of, oh shit, I forgot to do all my chores. Oh shit.
Mom and Dad come home in 15 minutes.
It is 6 p.m. and I have been watching Star Trek: The Next Generation reruns this entire afternoon. Oh no!
I was supposed to mow the lawn. Fuck.
You guys are actually describing a pretty good portion of my childhood right there.
Yeah, precisely. Lawn mowing, dishwashing, and whoops, I just watched Star Trek all afternoon.
Yeah.
My bad.
Or it was Star Trek or video games. But just pick one.
So he runs back to the inn, races down to the basement,
Mhm.
and then starts fumbling away at the gate, trying to like shove the key back in until he finally gets it in.
It's
Okay,
like
so
a
you get that in,
USB, like,
and now you have to dial up. So okay, what would because you're frantic. I don't think he necessarily. We have to see if he remembers the number.
How about I roll a 6 and we say on the odds
Oh, I like this.
he gets it wrong. But I can kind of see the key being like a USB stick. Like he put it in one way,
Mm-hmm.
he put it in the other way, and again and again and again, and then he put it in the first way again for like the 5th time. It's like, oh, plugs in.
It's the quantum theory of USB drives. No matter which way you're holding it, the first time you will put it in wrong.
Yeah,
It's
pretty much.
incorrect.
As long as you're not looking at it. If you look at it, it's fine. But if you don't look at it, it doesn't matter which way you do it. It will be wrong the first time.
I rolled a 2.
Um.
So odds was no. Evens is yes.
Oh. Okay. So you're able to. You're able to hit the buttons, dial it in, and so Eno, on your side of the gate, you've been standing there with Dren. She's passed out. You've tried waking her. She does not awaken. She's alive. But she basically put her shield down on the ground, so she has the shield made from the carapace of a meanlock that was killed. She peeled the carapace off this thing and converted it into a shield. And she basically fell asleep in it. And she is snoring, dead to the world. Every now and again, because you guys are up in this little gate area that's at the top of this snow slope, the snowy slope that leads, it's this thin trail that leads along the mountain to cliffside. And every now and again, as she's snoring, like she'll like shift in her shield, and it will just ever slowly start it'll shift, and then it will just start slowly sliding back down the path, like towards the edge, and you'll have to like quick grab her, pull
Or
her back
not.
up. Listen, shit happens. People fall off cliffs.
Yeah, hey, don't fall asleep in a shield on a cliff.
That's
That
just
also doubles as a sled.
it also doubles. It does double as a sled. It has been tested. So Buck's with you, and he's just been kind of like sitting there, and you're sitting there, and finally the gate activates. Hours later.
So the last thing that we had done was we ate a bunch of soup.
Yeah.
That was really spicy. So like I can imagine like right before the gate opens, like he reaches again for the shield as it's sliding down, and he goes, "Man, that soup really put her out." And and he's like, and he goes, "I hope Hugon and Thunuk are okay." And then the thing lights up, and he's like, "Huh?" And then he's like, Dren?
And
Dren, he's like moving the shield on this.
And
Dren,
the only thing
Dren,
that happens is an enormously loud breaking of wind.
Dren.
Too loud for a gnome. It's like,
And so Thunuk, you activate the gate, and the first thing that wafts through is very rotten eggs.
it's like a curry fart.
Regardless of how accurately he remembered doing this, he thinks he opened the gate in the wrong place now.
Snow doesn't smell like fart.
So he shuts it off.
I wanna roll a medicine check
Okay.
to see if, I mean, I know she's alive, but like, that's a 9. Yeah, that's a 9.
You think this is just par for the course for Dren?
She's just asleep. Okay. So
I'm trying to think. You haven't been around her too long. I know that we've established in the past that she basically works until she passes out, and at that point there is no move. There is no waking her up until she's recharged her batteries. But for the sake of Eno might not know that, but she is just. I mean, she is snoring and like.
yeah, I don't think I know her well enough to be like, oh, it's just because she's worked hard.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just like the portal is open. Dren, Buck, do you want to go through
and before you even get the words out of your mouth, he's like, and he like blasts through the gate. Thunuk, give me a dexterity check.
Uh-oh.
Or be hit in the shin with a brass basketball.
Let's see. Dex is... Oh, that's also a -2. 16.
You're able to barely get out of the way. Like, you're able to like lift your leg and quickly get out of the way as Buck comes tearing out of this portal like a bat out of hell. So you open the gate. There's a moment. A nice smell comes through. Well, not a nice one, but... And then Buck...
A smell.
And he's making kind of like that binary error noise, like as he flies through there, kind of like if you like an old floppy drive that's just doing something awful.
Yeah. Possibly eating your floppy disk.
Yeah, something like that, or making wonderful music. I mean, that's what you do, the Floppatron. So he comes flying through.
So I hoist my bag up, and I grab her stuff and put it on my other shoulder, and I try and pick her up. Is she really heavy, or is she?
She's
I mean,
not,
she
but
wouldn't be
her
that
bag
heavy,
is
right?
way heavier than you thought it would be.
So like I pick her bag, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I go,
What the
I'm like,
hell?
I guess this is fine, and then and then he's got his loot and all his accoutrement and 2 bags, and he picks her up. He picks the shield up with her on it and steps through, like gingerly steps through. He's like I don't want to wake her, it's just like, I don't want to wake her.
I don't want to wake.
No,
Who's
stop.
that's not how the song goes.
Stop.
That's okay. We
Okay, we don't do that. It's all right.
Sorry.
This portion of the stream has been muted due to copyright.
Thank God.
Due to awful 90s
That's all
melodrama.
it takes. No, so he steps through kind of gently, and so what does it feel like to step through this gate? Because I think he's only gone through like once. Like,
yeah, it feels like stepping into an icy pond. As you make that, as you break that surface tension and go through, you feel that ice water wash over you, but without getting wet. It's a very odd and disconcerting feeling because you feel like you should be soaking wet, but that is not the case. And then you feel yourself like stretch like a rubber band, and then
So like as he comes out the other side, he's going yeah.
Oh God.
And then
I don't like this.
Then he tries to hand the shield off to Thunuk. He's like, she's asleep.
Oh, Thunuk actually just lets you stand there for a moment. He walks over to his little cubicle and gets his backpack, puts it on, comes back out, grabs a shield off of you, and rather unceremoniously dumps her into the backpack. Well, he thinks he's being real gentle, but
It's like
it's
a
Thunuk.
Yoda moment.
and there's just this body. It's basically just meat rolling off the shield into your bag.
His thinking is like, other small things have slept in there before. It must be cozy.
There still might be some small things sleeping in there. You don't know.
Yeah. And she is small and therefore portable. And then he puts the shield over the backpack because he has no idea what else to do with it.
Okay.
So now he looks like a 10-foot tall Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I was about to say you get the Ninja Turtle thing going on with the.
Except like the shield is like this for him. It's like a dinner plate.
He
Yeah.
outgrew the shield. Yeah, he looks like a hermit crab that didn't bother to upgrade.
Oh, yeah. Mhm. It's like the shell will grow with me.
I command it.
It's
I
not
like the
worth-
shell. I'm not moving out of the shell. This shell's getting bigger.
I'm gonna knock out some walls, get a building permit.
And then he looks at Eno and is like, are you allergic to wolves?
Allergic? I mean, I don't like it if they are mean.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm not allergic.
Good. Okay, I was going to say I have some herbs for that, but we have to go and there's a werewolf in town.
Where?
That is
Wolf?
a good question. It is. We're going to go find it.
Their wolf, their castle.
It is in the town somewhere.
This town.
That's why I've got this neat stick with the shiny things on the end.
It's nice. You didn't have that before.
No, I think I'm borrowing it. I'm not supposed to break it. I might though by accident. It's very small.
Oh yes, I've often borrowed things.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I
So you
know-
know how. Yeah, borrowing.
Yeah.
I don't get to borrow stuff frequently. It's interesting concept.
It's thrilling.
Yeah.
thrilling,
Like,
yeah.
people trust you with their stuff.
Yeah, they trust
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I see.
You should probably borrow something like this too, because werewolves are kind of it's hard to hurt them with regular weapons.
Oh.
So let's go see Hugon.
Oh, is he borrowing things now?
Oh
Well,
yeah, we're borrowing a bunch of stuff from this guy.
Let's
Okay.
go find out what he's borrowing, shall we?
So Eno kind of like makes sure that nothing's rattling on his, makes sure his sword, his rapier is tied tight, and everything. So there's no jingling.
Mhm.
He's getting ready to like go stealth, you know.
Yeah, it's just break
Yeah.
it dinner time. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
right. So I guess I'm gonna roll a stealth check.
It's just all like these Velcro straps that come out of nowhere, like.
Yeah, just kind of like. So I'm gonna roll a stealth check.
Okay.
Oh damn, that's good. Oh wow, I have a +8 to stealth. Damn. All right, that's I forgot. That's 25.
Okay. What do
Righteous.
you? What do you? How are you just looking to move quietly, or is this kind of like melting into the darkness situation?
Wait, that's 26. I cannot add. I'm just following Thunuk,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm kind of sticking to the shadows. Like I'm
Okay.
I'm trying to sticking to shadows, and but like I'm following right behind him. And if he says anything to me, I'm not saying anything back.
So yeah. So you're able to do that. You're able to kind of melt into the shadows, and
Okay.
move. You're moving silently.
So
Nar-
Tunic is werewolf bait for you right now.
You said you were gonna go borrow stuff, so he's like he thinks we're gonna go steal
he
some
thinks
shit.
it's a heist.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's just sort of keeping his distance because you're probably just going like doing
Oh,
your
yeah.
normal thing.
He's trundling.
Yeah,
He has two speeds. I'm hungry, sprint,
right.
and trundle.
So in Eno's mind, you're the distraction,
Ah.
so that he can that's what he's thinking. He's like, oh man, he's doing such a great job as being the distraction, and so yeah.
It's amazing.
This all seems very reasonable.
So as you work your way, Thunuk takes you through the town. There is a strange hush that has fallen over the town. You haven't spent much time here at all. You basically got there and then went back. You got home and then you left right away. But you've been in towns akin to this. But a strange hush has fallen over the town. You can see that the lamps are more lit than usual. Usually, it's not uncommon to either not keep the lamps lit throughout the night or not have all of them lit as a means of conservation. But here you can see that there's lamplighters that are going around lighting all of the lights, and they're each accompanied by 2 to 3 guards trying to light the square up. And this is pretty late at night now, so it's it's not it's not because they everyone was woken up from this. They were woken up from a if I remember, everyone was woken up from a slumber. But a strange hush has fallen over the town. Give me a perception check.
I was just gonna ask. Oh, that's 21.
Oh, is
19
it?
plus 2? Yeah, 19 plus 2.
And what do you think that gets you?
What? Wait, I'm the DM now. So I see the werewolf
and I kill it with my eyes, and I win.
I look at it.
Instantly slain.
I slay it with my good looks. So you, well, what is it? I'll tell you what some of the things that you would be picking up on. But is there anything in particular that you were looking to perceive with that check?
So I noticed I noticed that these guards are with the lamplighters, and that looks weird right off. I'm like, that's strange. And you said there was a hush.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would be because I'm in the sort of the shadows. So I think I would be trying to make sure that there isn't anybody else in the shadows with me. And I think I would be just trying to listen for any kind of weird sounds, any kind of strange movements.
Mm-hmm.
As we're going towards the the hall of destruction.
The only sounds aside from the normal, like, even the forest sounds seem a little more muted. Like you're in the forest, so hearing tree frogs and the crickets and the normal nocturnal creatures, the occasional hooting of an owl, you hear that, but it seems like it's more distant than usual. Like there's almost like a nothing in your immediate area.
Okay.
So it is a bit quieter that way. You can hear and you see the different, the lamplighters and guards. You can see that there are guards that are now patrolling in groups. Slowly, you can see that they're checking, like they're looking up on roofs. They're checking like alleys. The town seems more at an alert status than you would imagine a town like this would normally be.
Okay.
On an average summer night. You do notice that you are not in the shadows by yourself. There are you do see a couple of rats that are scurrying about, and you can see they almost look like they're searching as well. And you almost step on one's tail, and it turns around and it squeaks something at you that if you spoke rat, you don't think it was nice. And you're pretty sure that it flipped you off when it happened?
I cast tongues.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. Can I?
Can I actually do that?
Well, I don't know if would that work with speaking with
Hang on.
animals?
Hang on.
Tongues allows you to speak
Languages.
with. I think it's speak and communicate.
I forgot that paladin I was playing had speak with
Ah,
animals. For a second there, I was like, "Can I talk to the rat?" And I can't. So I don't.
But you're
do
just like going like.
Spell
Yeah.
grants the creature you touch the ability to understand any spoken language it hears.
Yeah,
Well,
but
rat
I
wouldn't
don't
count.
think I would do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, if it doesn't work, so
Also, why would you want to talk to a rat?
I think he does. I think he does go like that.
And you see Rack just goes like, he's one of those, like a come at me, bro.
Wow.
And then it continues off with disappears again, continuing its search. But Thunuk is able to walk you back through town, and I would imagine that it's Thunuk, so he would probably just be talking endlessly because he just kind of like. But not necessarily. I don't know. Would Thunuk be talking about the werewolf, or would it be, or would have stream of consciousness would that train of thought derailed and gone a different direction? Like, hey, werewolves. Hey, have you ever seen a dog? I've seen a dog before. I pet a dog before, and then.
I think it would be less that and more like full stream of consciousness, reciting the entirety of the afternoon's activities since he last saw him. Dale. Like how
over
long
there,
he's-
that's the guy. That's the armor we found in the thing.
and that's not a statue. That's my new friend. And I wrote his name down. Dagnabbit. Where's my notes? My notes are gone.
Oh, I didn't write it down.
And then his name's Grimoire. He also there is a spidocracy in town. I learned about this. This is the thing. And I am now responsible for children. Oh no, I'm responsible for children. No, that's okay.
I can't be irresponsible. I'm a child.
Happy Father's Day. The thought that has gone through every new dad. Wait, how am I responsible for another human? There's a mistake.
This is a dumb idea.
Someone's made a mistake here. I shouldn't have this responsibility.
Mix up in some bureaucracy somewhere. It's just no. That's not how it's supposed to go. And he starts talking about like the potato scouts and everything that he did with them today, and then this, then that. Then he went to sleep, and by about this point, we're probably getting to the I imagine. So he doesn't get even a chance to explain anything about what happened with the werewolf situation. Everything he has relayed to Eno has been completely useless.
Not as useless as you think.
It is information, and information is never useless.
Well, I mean, situationally. So just as we get to the weapons shop, Thunuk says, and then I got woken up. Oh, hey, we're here.
And you find like this well-appointed shop, doors wide open, but you can see just so, Eno. Let's talk turkey for a second here.
Okay.
this is the kind of place you would case. This is the kind of place that you're looking at it and you're like, there's money in there. One way or another, whether it's actual money or money that I'm going to get later from the things I get from there. This is, you can just tell. It has all the hallmarks because you've seen the difference. You've seen the shops that pretend to be high class,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then it's just a facade. It's just they want to give you the air, the illusion that this is high end, like Target, right? No, no. But you've walked into I'm sure we've all walked into a store where they give you like this illusion, like, oh no, you're walking into rarefied air here. But when you really get down to it, it's cheap. They just want to make you think like, hey, this is why you have to spend a little bit more. But then you've seen the places that are legit. They don't have like, it's not the linoleum tile that's made to look like marble. It's actual marble. Like this is like that place where this guy spent some money on the door. Like
I need a quality door for my quality establishment.
well, yeah, I mean, it's like you could tell like there's places where you look at and it's like, oh, they have all of like the trappings, but when you look at it, they chinched on some of the things that they shouldn't have chinched on. This is a guy who got right down to it and said, you know what? Even my door is gonna be top notch. Even my
checked
window.
some boxes when he was just ordering something from a big box store. He's like, he ordered something custom made everything.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes, bespoke is these are not even the really nice IKEA cabinets when you walk in. These are like, yeah, this is a place where if you were to so deem it as something that you wanted to partake in, you think this is quality. Very well lit though, no place to hide. When you walk in, it's like, oh, I'm walking into a place that's got. And so, Hugon, what have you been up to in the interceding time here?
I think at this point, Hugon is like, all right, hand me the spear again. And he's like testing it.
Mm-hmm.
He hands it back. All right, hand me the halberd again. Just over and over. And like there's a circle of pole arms or like an array of pole arms in front of him. And he's just constantly going back and forth and like occasionally stopping and be like, but I really like the feel of this one.
The balance is more forward on this one, but it's here.
And I'm worried that the light metal in the head is going to lose momentum on the swing, and like basically having that conversation.
And there's the one part of you that's like, but the Damascus patterning on this one.
Yeah, but I like this kind of wood. This one's got good angles.
And your sommelier is saying,
like just agreeing to everything.
No, but he's giving you like little details about that. And at a certain point, he knows. Sometimes you just need to let the customer talk it out for themselves, right? Mm-hmm. He can't have a comment about everything. He's not going to force you. It is not in his repertoire to force you into a purchasing decision. That you're coming in, that his clientele come in usually with specific needs in mind.
Right.
But he does say to you, I do understand that tonight time is of the essence. But once this whole ugliness has been rectified, might I suggest we are able to do custom pieces?
And Hugon just kind of like, he's like looking at the patterning on a blade and like not even looking at this guy. And he's like, yeah, that might be necessary.
And in his head, yeah, it's necessary.
Yeah.
You start doing the justification thing that we all do when we want to buy the thing that we don't really need.
I really, really want.
But really, really want. But then you start doing but wait a minute. It's on sale. And if I don't buy it now, I'm actually going to be like not saving money.
Yeah.
Be losing money.
I'll be losing money later when I need this.
And I know that I've never done this project before, but if I get a drill press, think about all the projects I could do that would require a drill press.
Right.
It's like if I
Finally,
had
I think by the time that
Eno
Eno gets into this room, essentially, because I imagine we're probably in the back where like all the tall weapons are.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like kind of like, I don't think I'm gonna regret it, but we'll And obviously I'm gonna bring it back. And he's just like, we'll go with, you know, just your standard, just the standard patterning, you know, the halberd. We're just gonna go with what I know for now. This will be a good testing phase, and when we come back, we'll talk about that custom job.
Ah, yes. Try before you buy. I completely understand. A test run,
Well,
as it were.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I can hurt it.
I certainly hope you do hurt it. That's the whole purpose.
Well,
you meant the weapon.
The
Yes.
weapon.
Ah, no, the weapon. Oh, I am certain that it will perform up to your expectations.
So he he summons his halberd into existence, and leans it against like in the same spot
Mhm.
that this other halberd was.
It is
And,
very
like,
out
he's-
of place.
And he's like looking at the two of them like, shit. Oh, I've needed an upgrade for a long time.
I just ruined myself by touching this other one.
But isn't your other halberd like the family halberd?
No, it's like it was a gift from his old unit.
Oh, I thought for some reason it was I guess it's like it's a familial thing that everyone uses halberds.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, he was in his military unit. They bought him one. when he
right.
retired.
So
But you're-
there's some sentimental value to it, but
yeah,
it's
there's
not
some
like
sentimental value, but it's not like familiar.
this halberd has been in
No,
my
I mean,
family for generations.
Your great grandfather uses a halberd or something like that.
He used that's kind of a mystery about what he uses.
Okay. I'm just trying to
Dreamy
remember.
had a halberd, yeah.
Trying to remember like how this stuff lines up. Like I remember there being some familial connection to halberds, but I guess
Possible.
it wasn't that important.
We don't know.
I mean, it's been a couple centuries. Who knows? So he'll leave his halberd, which looks like ass, in comparison to all the other nice weapons in here. I'm like turned to see Eno. He goes, "Oh, welcome back."
And Eno steps through the door, and he's thinking like bold, like Thunix just walks right into the places, and so he's sort of still like gently like walking lightly, and then he hears you say hello, and he goes like that, and he's like, and then he like immediately realizes that they're not here to steal stuff, and he goes,
They're actually borrowing.
yeah, they're actually, and he goes, hey, hello, Hugon. It's good to be back. It was a little cold up there.
Yeah, I imagine. Has Thunuk filled you in?
He mentioned that he had borrowed a staff from this establishment, and
Good.
what are we talking? Silvered, mithril? What are we talking?
We're hunting a werewolf.
Yeah, werewolf. Oh, a werewolf. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right, a werewolf.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm under the impression from my learnings that mithril is a standardized way to solve this problem if you have access to it.
Mhm.
So why don't you talk to, and like he's probably learned this guy's name by this point.
We established a name for him, and it's sitting in the other room, so I don't remember. So right now he's just the sommelier.
Talk to Sommelier. He'll set you up. These are loaned. I cannot be clear enough about that. We have to bring these back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he says, "Hi, I'm Eno," and he reaches out his hand.
Mm-hmm. And the sommelier reaches back on. Yes, sir. What can we fit you with this evening?
I really like something that's, that's light, easy to maneuver with, maybe like some kind of a scimitar, a rapier, or something like that.
And he goes, may I show you something in our short sword collection? Or are you looking more
I like
for something
I
more
like
personal?
the pierce. I'm more of a piercer.
Something
like
more.
he shows them the rapier that he has. He's like, I'm really partial to this style. If you have,
Something more personal. I understand.
I like to stick him with the pointy end.
Yes, something. So you're probably looking at something a little more poignant.
That's on point.
Okay, you both.
Something with a sharper bouquet. Let me show you something. And he takes you over to one of the table cabinets
Mm-hmm.
and opens it up. It's almost opens like a almost opens like a picnic basket type, where it's hinged on the side, but silent as these things open. The key slides in. You can give me a perception check.
It's gonna be a 10.
These are good locks. And so he opens it up and the phosphorescence starts, and you could see it's all different shapes of pointier swords of varying degrees of they're all pretty much about the same length, but you can see there's different like handle shapes. Some of them just have the full like cupped hand guard, which I'm forgetting what it's called right now, but they have like the full guard. Some of them are just like the
Basket hilt.
Thank you. Some of them are very ornately made, where you can see it's all like woven. Some of them are like full on, just like a sheet of, or not a sheet of metal there. Some of them just have the single like knuckle guard on them. But you can also see there's various degrees of the sweep to the sword. Some of them are curved. Some of them are very, very straight and pointy. And he says, "You strike me as one who prefers, correct me if I'm wrong, something a bit of a more one-on-one encounter."
Exactly. Yeah.
May I recommend? And he pulls out one, and he's the 1945. And he hands this exquisite rapier to you.
Okay.
It does have the edge. it is edged on both sides, but it does come to a tapered point at the end, diamond shaped. On the profile as he's pointing this out, you can see like looking down the blade, it has that diamond shape. The end comes to, like I said, to this tapered but a very aggressive point. Very ornately crafted hand basket. And he hands it to you, and you can feel it is perfectly balanced. Where you can feel where it just. It's the handle from the guard and the blade, same weight. You can put your finger like right at the ricasso, and it actually stays perfectly balanced there. Like it's not even like where it like scales back and forth. It's just boom, balanced.
Says this reminds me of something I saw in Waterdeep once at a noble's house. It's very nice.
Yes, we do have some clientele in that area, so we're not surprised that they would have come to us for this particular manufacturer.
Do you mind if I give it a swirl?
By all means.
Okay, so he puts his hand on it
and runs.
No.
Deuces.
No, he's chaotic good. He's not. I'm not.
Well, I was just imagining the scene where if you from Princess Bride with Count, where the Count like sets in and.
Oh yeah, no, he just runs. Yeah, no. he kind of takes a few steps away from the Somalia, and he's
perfect control the entire time.
Yeah,
there's never a point where you feel like you're losing control of the blade. You can always index exactly where the blade and the point are. It's moving as if with a thought.
And so as he's doing, he's like
light. It is one of the lightest swords you have ever handled.
He said, "What do you sell one of these for?"
Oh, this is an extraordinarily An extraordinarily expensive piece.
So if I have to ask, I can't afford it, basically.
More than likely. We don't sell for those who are working on a budget.
What if I eventually could afford it? How much would it cost?
He says, well, this particular one, I don't know that we could let it go for less than 1,000.
Silver? I'm
Very-
just kidding.
Very
I know
good,
you
sir.
mean gold.
Very, very.
It's just
how-
I'm a
ve-
bard, and we
quite,
joke.
quite droll. Yes.
So he's like, okay, and so how long can I borrow this for?
And then
When do you
Hugon
want it
goes,
back?
For the night.
Oh, the night.
Yes,
Just one
this
night.
is-
Just this night.
Just the night we kill the werewolf.
Oh.
And then we bring it back.
And what if we don't kill the werewolf? Then
well,
I
then-
still have to bring it back.
We bring it back and then we rent
well,
it
if
again.
if you do not kill the werewolf, I'm going to assume that it's perhaps. Well, let's cross that bridge when we get to it.
Okay. Well, I mean, if
And he says the upside to all of this is that it will only increase the value, even though even though these items have been used. There's now a history to them. We will now be able to sell them based on
Yeah.
the story that goes along with them. So, good slaying.
but so that doesn't involve any kind of discount. If
Oh
then
no,
I guess
no. The story is what truly makes these blades special.
I see. Okay. And so is it a plus extra to how does the damage work?
So with this, you could consider these +2 weapons.
Okay, so I get 1d8 plus 4 instead of plus 2.
Mm-hmm. And so that would be, but that would also you'd also be able to apply that plus to the attack roll as well.
That's right.
These are high performance weapons, so you would actually see an increase in your performance
Okay.
with how quickly from you, from a dueling standpoint, from a swords play standpoint, this is like this feels more like an extension of your arm than you've ever felt any other weapon that you've held. And you've held some good weapons, some of them yours, some of them might have belonged to other people, but you could see, like, as you were working some of your forms, the blade just sung in your hand. Hugon, same deal. You feel like usually you're used to having this piece of lumber with a piece of forged steel on the end of it, and there's a certain weight to it. But now, and at a certain point, you are relying on the weight of the weapon to do the work.
Right,
But
exactly.
But in your hands, you feel now you would be able to do all of the forms and techniques that you've learned, but at a greater speed and with more precision and control. And Thunic, you like heavy, shiny things. Because I can't imagine Thunic has done extensive weapons training, but here you're basically putting an enormous, like, I-beam into the Hulk's hands.
It's like a flowchart, an engineer's flowchart for Thunic. Is it attacking me? Yes. Hit it. Is it still moving? Yes.
Hit it
Continue
more.
hitting.
No, is it attacking me? Yes. Magic or weapon?
Hit
Magic
or
weapon.
spell.
Hit or spell. But yeah, I think for Thunic, it's like this came from a very strong tree. You would be able to pick that up just from holding this piece of wood. You would be able to find that this came from a very strong tree, and you've got basically two wrecking balls, two bowling balls on the end of this thing that are coated in mithril. And so for you would probably treat this actually more as a great club, more than a quarterstaff, based on the weight on the ends of these things. So as far as damage goes, you would be doing 1d8 with this, plus your modifiers.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it does. It does 1d8 bludgeoning on this guy, but then you get plus 2 on that from the nature of its construction, and then whatever your strength and proficiency modifiers are on that.
And +2 to attack.
Yeah, and
Two.
+2 to attack. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how this
So
works
easy with D&D
first.
Beyond.
Yes, I'm actually looking at that. Right
Hugon,
now.
give me a perception check.
Okay. Oh, that is a 21.
Okay. So you're hearing a great many things. Not an abundance of sound, but it's like you
Right.
kind of have your sonar on, right? You
Mhm,
even though
so to speak.
even though you've been enthralled with these weapons, and this is probably the happiest Hugon's ever been in quite some time.
And you still haven't seen his face about it.
Yeah.
So,
But maybe that's why Hugon is so happy, because he knows no one will see him, so he has that moment of
yeah, he's
Yeah.
like joyously bouncing around.
but no one can see.
No one
but,
can see
but
it.
all inside. It's fussy, but inside. So you're hearing a few things. You're hearing the sounds of the guards walking around the town. You can hear them occasionally communicating with each other. You have not heard any sounds of like attacks or anything like that. You hear snoring coming from Thunuk's backpack.
Okay. That's not irregular given his propensity for like carrying creatures around, so that probably.
But this isn't like cute, like, oh, there's a ferret sleeping in there, a little,
Well,
this
maybe he
is,
picked up a badger or something.
that's kind of what it sounds like. It sounds like a badger,
Tactical badger.
a tactical badger, yes.
Ugh! Badger grenade.
Would you want an angry badger thrown at your head? No, you would not want an angry badger thrown at your face. Your face would no longer be your face. It would be the badger's face now. Or what are those things? They're armored. They look kind of like armadillos, but they got the huge claws.
Pangolin.
Pangolin, yeah.
They eat ants.
Yes.
Termites.
Mm-hmm. But they go ape shit on walls.
Oh, they'll fuck a wall up. They stay
didn't know
fucking
that.
up walls.
I
Think
didn't
of
know
like your hand, right? The length of your hand, but it's 3 bony claws that are essentially like biological pry bars.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
They're pretty
Oh,
righteous.
Pandolins are pretty awesome. Now, Thunuk would have known about a Pandolin. There's no
Okay.
doubt in my mind that Thunuk has friends that are Pandolins. And you, sir,
Probably.
I knew Pandolins. I'm friends with Pandolins. You, sir, are not a Pandolin. Yeah, so you guys have you now have some weapons on loan from your weapons sommelier, and he says, and he does say, he goes, gentlemen, I do wish you good hunting tonight, good slaying. I certainly hope that you are successful, if not for the town, at least for yourselves. And Mr. Verlander, I do hope that we can speak at some length at another time at that possible custom order. I think we could get you into something that would make you quite pleased.
I have every confidence that this is the sort of establishment that could cater exactly to my needs.
Hey, Hugon, does Drenmai need a weapon like this, or?
I mean, I don't see her here, and
Well, she-
honestly, I kind of want to see her struggle a little bit.
As you say, I don't see her here. Like Eno's pointing to Hugon's bag. I mean, Thunuk's bag.
And actually, and Hugo like crosses his arms and thinks really hard for a moment. Just, we're having a decent evening, like, and things are going real well right now. And I just don't think that she's gonna add anything, or at least as far as I'm concerned.
Eno thinks of the times that he's been damaged by Dren's spells, which I'm pretty sure it's at least twice, and he's like,
There was the lightning.
yeah. And there was
happened to
the and then there was the shatter. So
Oh, yeah.
it
that's
has been twice.
right.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, you're probably right.
There's like this montage of flashbacks of everything every time Dren
Yeah.
has used magic and something's gone awry.
And it has injured me. So I'm like,
With
Yeah,
the
that's
Steel
fair.
Predator, with you've seen like that with the things she did with the Steel Predator. It's like nah, it's quiet.
Just like
She's probably
also,
fine.
it's really I hate her voice and it's not happening right now. And I think that we can all agree that that's a good thing.
For those who ever listen at home or on the podcast, this is not about clues at all.
No,
Yeah,
also,
we love
it's like-
clues.
we love clues. This is specifically
Yeah.
about Dren, and she would be all over this. So,
and she can't hear it. And if she could hear it, she'd prank me,
mm-hmm. Oh yeah. There.
probably with a sparkle fart
again.
again for the second time. I don't like being sparkle farted.
See, if you tell her that, then she knows, and then she does it. See,
Exactly.
You gotta,
See,
you
so
gotta
you gotta
play
be-
the psychology game.
And really, I don't want her trying to befriend the werewolf. I really don't want
That's
you.
true.
He points directly at Thunuk to befriend the werewolf. But like,
wo-
she thinks things are cute and rideable, and that's a real problem. And I think that we should, go forward with a very strong anti-werewolf stance.
That is wise. Werewolves don't generally want to be friends.
See, I'm glad that we're all on the same page. So
Although I heard about this one.
let's
has
let's not get into hypotheticals.
Well, he has a hotel or an inn, a pub. I heard he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a fantastic fairy tale. Let's focus on this werewolf, which
Hey,
We need
my
to
life's a
kill.
fairy tale.
we're killing a werewolf tonight. We're not opening a business with one.
Mm,
Oh yeah,
mm,
so we're all on the same page.
okay.
But if we opened like a freak show,
Not worth it. Probably not
Oh.
worth it. The liability insurance alone.
And those are kind of mean.
They are.
They're not nice.
No,
Yeah, it's true. I was in one once. Okay.
Yeah, just says it in passing. It's like, okay, I'm moving along.
So, if we've all got our loaned weapons
Mm-hmm.
that we are going to return, and like he's like kind of leaning into Eno just a little bit.
It's kind of like leaning back away.
That we're gonna return all of our borrowed equipment after this. I think that
Look,
we.
I'm not a rogue. I'm not a thief. I don't know why you're.
I'm just saying that I have a temptation, and that if I have a temptation, surely other people have a temptation.
Hey, it's I'd love to, but I understand. I understand how this works.
Good.
It's been
They're only
established.
material objects. I mean, everything's temporary.
Right. Well,
That's true. That's true.
this is one of those things that if you lose it, I can't make that go away, Thunuk. So don't lose it.
Oh. I should probably leave it here then.
No, you should take it with you. You should for sure not lose it.
Well, I mean, I don't really need it. I mean,
Yes,
I've got this.
And like Hugon takes your stick from you
Mhm.
and like sets it down. And you're like, you're using the stick that I gave you.
But I can make it magic.
I don't care. You can make that magic.
No, it doesn't work on that.
I'm sure that it does.
Out of character, I don't think Shillelagh works that way. I think Shillelagh actually just works on like a stick.
I don't know actually what it does.
Okay.
Well,
And Hugon wouldn't know anyway. He just thinks that you're not understanding that you need
Yeah.
the
Hold on.
stick.
let us take a look, shall we?
If I can Shillelagh this thing, that would be interesting.
Let us take a look. Shillelagh.
I think it's
Wood
any
club-
primarily wood.
Staff
The wood of a clover quarterstaff.
is imbued with nature's power. Oh
but
my goodness.
But it's the wood, so the metal of the end of it would not be imbued with that.
That's true, but if I imbued the wood itself, what?
That if you were attacking, if you decided to purposefully avoid using trying to make contact with like one of the metal globes at the end and try just to hit it with the stick portion of it, the wooden portion,
Mhm.
then Shillelagh would work.
Oh, I'm also thinking of situations because this always comes up in every single movie when someone or TV show where someone has a big stick and something with a large mouth and a lot of teeth comes after it. The stick portion inevitably ends up in between those teeth.
Ah.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, it's an inevitable thing. But
So you technically So I guess the question becomes how does Thunuk understand how the spell works? Does he understand that it is him communing with the spirit of this piece of wood, or is it just like he thinks that, oh, I'm able to make it glow and make it hit things?
I think it literally is him communing either with the spirit of the wood,
Mm-hmm.
or he is asking the four to help him through the wood.
Um.
Yeah, I said that before,
um.
before I
I
realized.
Just
think-
gonna let it slide.
Yeah, we're gonna let that one go. Oh. So in this case, I think that he would know then that he could transmute the wood of the haft of this weapon, and that I think he would know that he could do that. So whether he wants to, whether you want to or not, is completely up to you. But I don't think it would be out of ignorance where he's like, oh, never mind, I can only do this one stick that I have. It's, if he wanted to, he could like I don't know if he could, but he could like shillelagh transmute a tree and then push a tree over onto something, and it might have a similar effect.
So, the shillelagh boost a.
No, it does say wood of a
falling
club.
tree.
It does say club or quarterstaff. So
Yeah.
But is not a tree an enormous quarterstaff?
That is true.
You're the DM. You get to decide that.
So, well, we'll see if that ever comes up where there's a need for Thunuk to push a tree over onto something that requires to be hit by magical weapons. Which, hey,
Sometimes you got to push a tree
Sure.
over.
sometimes you got to do that. So, but yeah, I think he would know that he would be able to imbue the wooden portion of this weapon with that power.
Okay. I think he will try that almost immediately.
Okay. And so yeah, so the glow, the soft glow, or actually no, do we ever say how it actually manifests?
The stick he's been using seems to become alive with green with life again. And,
Oh, cool.
And it's sort of, it looks right. Normally, it looks like for anyone else, it'd be a log, but when he empowers it, it grows a couple of branches. It looks extra mean. It basically looks like nature has provided him a maul or a rather large mace.
So in this case, when you cast the spell of Shillelagh on your new wrecking ball weapon that you have here, and I'm not sure quite if it has a name, but it probably does.
Mhm.
But it instead of growing anything, it actually starts to become more like petrified wood.
Ooh.
Oh, cool. I like that. And does he hold it like two-handed like a baseball bat, or is it actually stave sized for you?
What?
Because he said it was like 8 feet long.
It's 8 feet long.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an actual staff for him.
Yes.
So he'd be holding it.
It is the first appropriately sized weapon that Thunuk has ever had, at least in this campaign.
He'd be holding it like a quarterstaff. In fact, once we're outside and it's been confirmed that he has to use this one, he's going to give it a couple of like experimental twirls. He's basically going to look like a large child who has found a large stick and is pretending at fight.
Oh, okay. So I think it would look, if I can flavor this a little bit, I think it would look like Lightsaber Kid.
Yes.
Except occasionally you'll catch the corner of a building and just like annihilate it.
Yeah, like every now and like you hit a barrel by accident, and the barrel is no longer a barrel.
Explodes into splinters.
Just like there's times where it hits the ground and there is like a thud. Like there's a thud you can feel through your feet when
There's
this
like
thing.
a cracked paving stone.
Yeah.
Every so often you hear him say, "Whoops."
Oopsie.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
And like everyone has like cleared out, like a mosh pit has suddenly like get away from the thing.
So you step out into the midsummer's evening. Again, it's a cooler evening. Not too much humidity. Nice night, but it is eerily quiet now. Even the crickets and frogs in the distance have gone silent. The sound that is typical when an apex predator is present in an area.
Mm-hmm.
And the hunt shall begin when we get back from our break. We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes. We're going to go take advantage of the humanity centers in our respective homes. And when we come back, we will see who lives and who dies.
And who becomes a werewolf?
And who becomes a werewolf. Or not.
God.
I say we let him go. All right, we will be back in just a few minutes, so stay tuned. And we have returned to play Dungeons and Dragons. Warlocks and Wyverns. Tunnels and Trolls.
This is just
I'm not
getting
familiar with those last two.
Oh.
and more dangerous as times go on. I mean, first is a werewolf, now it's dragons, wyverns, and trolls. I mean, this is getting to be a really hairy situation.
This town does have a monster problem. I would
Okay.
say.
Oh no. I've seen this look on Roz's face before.
What? I was just thinking of hairy situations.
I know, you're hairy. He said it's a real hairy situation. And I just saw your eyes get like lit up and he starts rubbing his hands together like he's
No, it's my die. I'm rubbing my die together.
He's got
with
a
itself.
It's like he's
Put the
preparing
stank on, getting that stank on there.
he's
Just think of
preparing a
Teen
pun.
Wolf.
He's preparing a pun.
Listen,
It's
somebody
kind of
say,
like
Dad.
you prepared the spell. He's like, nope, I'm preparing a pun. Wordplay. So anyway, hi. We're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons. Some did.
It was just my wolfish grin. Sorry.
See? See?
Hey, you asked for it. All right. I wasn't even gonna do it.
The look of burning on Gid's face.
I'm choosing to believe that didn't just happen.
I'm rewriting reality as we speak.
I am substituting your awful reality for my positive reality.
You have had a good week. A very relaxing week. It
I've,
sounds
I've tried. It's evaporating.
like.
With
Rapidly.
every poem, I draw closer.
You're harsh on my mellow, man. Anyway, when we last saw our heroes, they had just gone on a well, I guess for lack of a better term, they've achieved some kind of illicit sponsorship through the local high-end weapon shop, which I was about to go grab the note out of my other room and just completely forgot to do it.
That's okay.
So ADD. Yay.
It's all right. It's fine.
But they had I guess what could was tantamount to a sponsorship of sorts, where they got some equipment on loan to take it for a test drive, so to speak, in this endeavor, knowing that they had to use specific kinds of weapons in order to be truly effective against a werewolf, which has been spotted and has already claimed one victim of Pinedale. Left its viscera and insides on its outsides.
There was a rearrangement, and I don't know if it worked.
Well,
I
it
don't
depends
think-
what your end goal was. For the werewolf, it worked swimmingly.
Right, but
For the
it's
person whose insides it was a less than ideal scenario.
I mean, it conflicts with the aesthetic of the city. It really does.
There's problems. It's not zoned for that kind of thing.
No, see, flesh sculpting is it's a very niche kind of thing, and we want to make
there's-
sure that
There's zoning and licensing that just wasn't even bothered with.
there's several levels of problematic.
And if it doesn't bring any public joy, I'm sorry, you cannot be the Banksy of evisceration and have it work for you. Who's gonna buy that? No one.
The market is just not here.
Not here.
It's not here.
There might be some place. There might be some deep reaches with the Underdark where this is exactly the kind of artistic endeavor that they're looking to have,
Or certain corners of Waterdeep.
or
Yeah,
certain
I mean-
corners of Waterdeep. Ravnica has an entire sector dedicated to this very thing. They have their own South by Southwest festival just for skin sculpting,
And that's fine.
but
But
not
it's
here.
It's just not the market here.
But
And
not
I
in
think-
Pinedale.
I think that this werewolf should have taken that into consideration.
This is
I
this
really
is a family town. It is it's a blue collar town. People of character. Anyway, so they got these weapons on loan, which have certain advantages as we've learned. The recently sobered weapons sommelier might have converted a new customer.
He might have.
Might have. Listen, you were picking down what you were picking up what he was laying down there. It was.
Yeah, I was. It's true.
There's some
I
good
smelled
things.
what he was stepping in.
Did you? And you know what? I'm okay with it. And so they now this quiet has fallen over Pinedale and the surrounding area. The hunt has begun to try to find this werewolf and solve this problem. How would you like to proceed?
Do we need to make signs if we're advertising for this shop? They're sponsoring us, right?
I mean, I think that's not a bad idea.
Like wear a shirt that says "Weapon
like,
provided by
Weapon provided by
the sommelier."
ass kicking provided by.
Every
have to
time
get
we
it.
hit
Hang on,
someone,
hang on,
it's
hang on.
like, This blow
It's
provided
gonna be his
by.
name. The sommelier.
Sommelier of slaughter.
This feels a little bit too much like we're referencing some idiocracy here. Brought to you by Carlos Jr.
Hollanders fine weapons.
Ah,
Hollanders fine.
I wrote it down,
Okay.
and somehow it made it out of this immediate area into space. So Hollanders fine weapons, and you dealt with you're assuming it was Hollander, but
okay.
affectionately referred to as the sommelier.
All right. So, Eno's taking his quill and he's trying to like he's starting to write Hollanders like on his. He's like, "Are we supposed to?" And then he's like, "Nah, it's."
So he's just got an H.
he's just got an H, and he's like, he sees that nobody else is doing it, and he's like, "Oh." Puts his quill back in his bag.
Back in the bag it goes.
Maybe he can turn that into something else later. Like, you know, they change tattoos. You know?
You do a cover up.
Yeah. He'll just make it into some pattern or something.
So I have to ask, because Hugon, I don't know how much Hugon knows about
Mhm.
werewolf hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Should I roll like a survival check or something like that to begin hunting this thing? or
Yes, I think that would be a good place
Should
to
all of us
start.
do it, or I'm not sure
Well,
how. to
Why
proceed.
not? Why not? I mean, hey, we can roll and we can see what's happening here, and they've made an entire series of books just on how to figure this kind of thing out. Oh boy.
That was an amazing roll, apparently. Full of
Blah, 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 blah,
happiness.
blah.
All sorts of bumps.
Is that a 20 or a 1?
That's a 20. That's the
20.
Boros fist.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the Ack Ink die. 16. And Thunic, did you do a survival roll as well? A skill challenge?
No, not yet. I was checking on how long Speak with Animals lasts. Because he did speak with those rats. to
Mhm.
get
I want to say
hour?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, but so that is worn off.
Mm-hmm.
But he won't even think of that. He's so used to speaking with just anything and everything. The first rat he sees, he's going to be like, "Do you guys find anything yet?" How do I interpret that? Is it a positive interpretation? There's some squeaking and doing some like rat shoulder things and like emoting and like, yeah.
You get the impression not yet. You haven't.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not even sure. You're not even sure that rat is part of like the other rat's crew.
Oh,
This could be a civilian rat. This could be
Oh.
a rat. This could be a rat that's just completely different. You're not sure that this is one.
or perhaps even from a competing rat gang.
It's possible. You know, this
Oh,
could
wow.
be, you know,
Wrong turf.
one of the other a different rat family entirely.
Oh.
You know.
Starting like Rat Godfather here. And that is
Salazzo.
9 plus 13.
Okay. So, all right. So,
For
what
survival.
is it? So, okay, with that survival check, what is it? What kind of information are you like trying to suss out? Like, what is it that Hugon or Eno or Thonic would be trying to determine with this particular situation?
Hugon's not a ranger, so he's probably like, if I were a bipedal werewolf creature, Where would I hunt for food?
Where would I go?
Where would I go? And essentially, he's just trying to.
And I just got a vision of Trevor with the Mickey Mouse ears hat.
And I'm looking for tracks.
Okay. So tracks. So okay. Thunic.
Following the gore, because there's always going to be some amount of gore when someone gets eviscerated.
Okay. Okay.
Unless they were wearing a werewolf bib, which I mean,
Like the lobster bib.
yeah,
Like, oh, got this guy bib on. The fingers are the best part.
It's all you can eat. All you can eat crab legs, except it's
Hammer
people.
getting into the skull. Oh yeah. Oh, this is the. Oh yeah. This is it's salty. This part.
oh,
Just turns into like one of those crab shacks in Maryland, except werewolves and people. Because a werewolf truly can eat anything. Okay, so let's go about this a few different ways. All right, so we'll start with Hugon, and we'll work our way around here. So Hugon,
The total was 26. So
26. So while you don't know much about werewolves, other than you knew that silvered weapons was where you had to go, right? And that's kind of like it's not like necessarily esoteric. It's not common knowledge, but it's one of those things where it's like, where it's like, okay, so you're able to figure that out. So you're just looking at this like not so much where would a werewolf go? It's like, okay, if I had a crazed person
Mhm.
and they wanted to eat people,
Right.
what would they do? And you start using kind of like, because you've dealt with some nutty people before, people that probably, and I would imagine, especially in this kind of environment, where they didn't necessarily do a lot of psychological screening for people going into the armed forces of different, like,
1 second.
uh-oh.
there's a message from the curtains.
It's the rat.
I think it would have been hilarious if you just got up and just watched him launch himself out the window.
What's
and then then he either comes back in or like comes in through the door like, all right, sorry guys, had to.
His cape comes out of his back.
That would be amazing. We were just saying it would have been amazing if you're like 1 second you just walked out of the window and like leapt out, like cape comes out, leap out, and then
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the hell that noise was, and I look to my right and I see water coming in through my window
is it raining?
because of how hard the wind is blowing the rain into my screen.
Oh.
It sounds like it's hailing outside, but there's no hail.
Oh, okay. Hail. So okay. My guess is that there was not a lot of psychological screening like there is today when it goes to entering the armed forces.
Heavens no.
So-
In fact, the crazy, like the absolute bonkers psychopath is probably like, here, have 2 daggers instead of 1.
But to a point, because then he just starts killing his own people too.
Right? It's like it's like a falcon, a hood with a falcon. You're just like, and go that way.
Yeah, you want a little bit of crazy, but you don't want like softly Jay Kimball entering into
No,
like the service
listen.
of.
There's acceptable levels of crazy,
Yeah.
and then you cross over, and it's just a problem.
So it probably wouldn't have been completely a foreign experience where you had to go find some rogue soldier who was just menacing civilians. So you have a good idea of where you think, okay, so you think, all right, he's going to go to a target-rich environment.
Mhm.
He's not going to want to travel very far. And if he's in predator mode, if he's in a killing mode, regardless of what he intends to do with the body once he's done, relieving it of life, unaliving it, you guess that he's going to probably head towards like the civilian sector, probably in the area of where, not the rich section of town.
Right.
He's going to
Where
go
there's
to
going to be fewer people watching. Where there's going to be people asleep on the street, maybe.
yeah, just more people right nearby.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you think probably there, but you also know that this is a craft. He's not like this is not something that's completely out of control. So otherwise, you would imagine you would have heard something by now. You would not have had the time if it was just on an indiscriminate killing spree. You would have heard something by now.
Right, of course.
So you have an idea of like the direction of probably where it is within the town of Pinedale. And you guessed that it's probably going to be this is an ambush predator.
Mhm.
So it's either going to be lurking in a dark alley or on a roof somewhere, more than likely. It's not just going to be like patrolling around and hey, running into people and I'm going to go kill you. This is not Jason Voorhees.
Right,
You know.
Right.
So, Eno, you start examining the area, trying to find some kind of tracks, and you're able to see a direction. So you found this body, which is I'm guessing is probably where Hugon probably started.
Right. Yeah,
Is-
absolutely.
Or where the body was. I'm assuming they got it off the street in the meantime. They're not just gonna let this, meat sack just sit there rotting. That's gonna be disturbing for a lot of people to see. So you go to where there's this giant pool of blood, where the first victim had been eviscerated. You can see it was right by the church, the general church area temple, multi-denominational, and you start looking around for more subtle signs than just straight up footprints. There are paving stones, so it's not always going to leave, a footprint somewhere. So as you're searching around, you're able to get some directionality. You're able to start seeing where little disturbed parts of gravel and grout between some of the paving stones. Dust that doesn't necessarily look like a paw print, but looks, where it's been disturbed recently. You're seeing like different patterns within, and you can see as it starts leading towards the again the civilian sector of Pinedale, where most of the residents live. The vast majority of residents live in this one area because it's of easy access to the mines. You've got like the richer section, which is closer to the path that leads up into the mountains, but it's not leading towards that. It's leading to where like most of the civilians.
What time is it? Like what time of day?
After midnight.
Okay, so it's
after midnight, and we're gonna let it all hang out.
All right.
And you can
So
play
he's got
your tambourine.
So he's got his dark vision, and he's kind of following this trail of.
Oh, that's right. He does have dark vision. So
he's got
so
dark vision.
so this is with all of the street lamps lit, and with the moon being full, you're seeing this almost as clear as daylight. This is like, anytime it gets too dark, like you're almost able to see this as if it's like full on like noon. So this is like the night is not a hindrance for you whatsoever.
Okay.
And you're able. Are you just going to start following it, or are you just?
I think I would signal to
Mhm.
my companions and say, there could be a trail here.
Mm-hmm. Now, Thunic.
Mhm.
You're used to tracking things in a different way. And you're looking at the viscera here. And you think there is the absolute faintest of scents that you can pick up on. A kind of a coppery, metallic scent from the remaining viscera. The smell of blood. This is not a foreign smell to you. In that Thunic probably would not be able to discern between different animals by the scent of blood, but Thunic is aware of what the scent of blood is. I'm sure he's hunted. He's had to probably kill a deer or something, or I don't know. I don't know if I could see Thunic actually killing a deer, but
I can see that.
I can see under certain circumstances he would be killing other animals.
Well,
Like, not for
spiders.
fun,
Spiders.
No, not for fun.
but for, like food to eat.
Yeah,
To eat them.
Yeah, I think it would almost be like an Avatar situation where it's like there's almost like a remorse that goes along with it because Thunuk just seems to like the cute furry animals and probably he's not gonna.
He
Oh,
gets along with just about everything except unless you're like a jerk.
and all spiders are jerks,
All
therefore.
spiders are jerks. Yeah.
All
Or
spi-
undead.
And delicious.
and delicious. The yeah, so there is a scent of blood that you're used. You know what that smell is, and you think you have an idea of what to look for now, given the amount of blood lost there.
Mhm.
You think that you'd be able to you know that there's going to be other evidence. You're not necessarily seeing anything on the ground right away, but you can see like 20 or 30 feet away. There's like a dot of blood on the ground. So this is a case of where it's not like it didn't like walk through the blood and it's just trailing. There's like there's the initial bloody footprints, and that's how you initially identified that this is a werewolf. Because Hugon had brought you out to look at this, and you were like, "Yep, that's a werewolf, goody." But you think that you could possibly track it if you move quickly, because you know that scent is not gonna. That scent is. And the sky just opened up. Yeah. So you think you'd be able to figure out. And again, you're picking up that everything. The three of you are kind of like triangulating this, where it's like all of you are. So Eno, you know the directionality of this, right? You know that it's probably in this direction over here. Thunuk, you think that you can narrow down that directionality a little bit based on some of the blood spatter that you're going to find here.
Mhm.
We're going to turn you into a blood splatter analyst here. Hugon, you think you know what the behavior is.
Mhm.
So between the three of you, you think you might be able to track this creature down.
Good.
Thunuk is basically going to say, "It's blood over there. Yeah, it's the same direction. We should go that way."
All right, let's go kill ourselves a werewolf. And you notice that Hugon is like noticeably sort of like bouncy.
There is a spring in his
There's
step.
a spring in his step.
He's got something that's very clearly bad.
Yeah.
Very bad that he is sure needs to be killed. He's got
Zero
a brand.
moral problem.
But yeah, there's zero moral compunction. There's no issues
There's no gray
whatsoever.
area here whatsoever.
No gray
Yeah.
area. He's got a brand spanking
Brand
new new weapon. He was able to get
Sponsorship.
he was able to get other people weapons. It's the gift that keeps on giving. What do you get the man that has everything? More weapons.
More weapons. Always more weapons.
Dren is nowhere to be found.
Amazing. Probably the highlight.
um,
Gosh, she's gonna be so. Dren is gonna be so mad that we did this without her.
she is gonna be mad, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
Hugon is having the kind of day that Blind Cleric had like this week.
Yeah, essentially.
So Eno kind of reaches out and he kind of touches his friends and he says, "We shall endure this fight, and we shall prevail." And for up to an hour, you're gonna have some temporary hit points.
Nice.
That's 5 temporary hit points, 4 and a 1.
Mm.
That's okay.
Mm.
So it's 5. So we all have 5 temporary hit points, unless I end up needing to do a different concentration spell, and then I'll tell you if it drops. But and advantage on Constitution checks.
Awesome.
So I'll try to.
So we're gonna need
concentrate on
those.
that one. Yeah.
So you start moving into the residential area of Pinedale. You walk past the Silvered Harrier. your headquarters, and you're now really getting into the town proper as far as like where all the people live. You're able to find little traces here and there. Every now and again, you lose the trail because it looks like it might have gone like over a roof or something. But after searching around, you're able to find like little pieces here and there, little proof of trace or proof of something past, traces of passing is what I was trying to say there. Traces of it having passed, because it did not pass without trace. So that's
That would be terrifying.
oh my god. Ninja werewolf. Oh god.
No, not acceptable. I don't like it. Downvote.
Thunic, based on when you guys are finding the pieces of trail, every now and again you're finding like little bits of blood pooling in certain areas, and it's evidence of where the werewolf had stopped for a moment or two, and it's usually by windows.
Ooh.
By windows, you could see it might be you could surmise that it might be where it was looking in the windows. But thus far, there's nothing that says that it was, has gone into any of the windows, because you can't.
Mhm.
None of you would. I think even Thunic would know that werewolves are not subtle creatures,
Mhm.
and probably not big on the whole cat burglary thing. If it
No.
wants to go into a house, it's just gonna go in. Hugon, give me a perception check.
That is a 11 total.
An 11. You're feeling a little itchy, and you're not sure why. You think it might be because
Itchy.
you're in a civilian-rich environment.
Oh, okay. You're not talking like physically itchy, like just anxious.
Yeah, it might be manifesting as like,
Okay.
one of these, like you kind of like that. That's sort of that psychosomatic thing, where your hackles are up. You're beyond just alert right now.
Right.
Your hackles are up because you've been in urban campaigns before, and they suck.
Yeah.
Because as much as you're trying to avoid and reduce and diminish and prevent civilian casualties, the problem is that the bad guys aren't maybe.
Well, I mean, also look at this from the other side, is that like Hugon has technically been the bad guy
Mm-hmm.
from time to time. Sieges don't usually end politely.
Mm-hmm.
They usually end pretty
Messily.
nastily.
Messy.
So like
Messy.
he's familiar with both sides of this issue,
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
Athletic, give me a perception check.
Okay. The rolls are not good today. That was an 8.
An 8. No, I think in this case it'll be enough. You hear a very slight squeaking noise coming from one of the darkened alleys.
Oh. Thunuk heads into the alley and gets on. Basically, takes a knee so he can get within range of speaking with whatever squeaking.
It is one of the rats, and you can see it's kind of like laying on its side. It's breathing very quickly. It's got a little bit of blood coming like out of its ear, a little bit out of its mouth. And
Oh. It's hurt. That's not good. This is completely what Thunuk would do. He would probably cast a cure spell on a rat.
Mm-hmm.
He would do this. I think it's a dumb idea, but I
But
am not
Thunuk.
Thunuk.
If it is what Thunuk
It
would
is
do.
Thunuk to a T.
Yeah, I am not Thunuk. I just play him.
It's your friendly neighborhood veterinarian, Fearbolg.
So the question is, what would he cast? Healing Touch, I think, is what he would use. Does he have Healing Touch right now? Yes, he does. Let me find my card. There we go.
And Eno and Hugon, give me give me a perception check.
Oh, that's a womp 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 womp
Womp,
womp.
womp,
22.
womp. You're almost certain. You feel like this creeping presence behind you. And you've had this before. You kind of have, given the life that you've led, you've always had to have like eyes in the back of your head, so to speak. And so you do like the slow turn, and there's nothing behind you, but you can't shake the feeling that you're being watched. You're not sure from where. Occasionally you're hearing like the sound of a roofing tile slide and fall off a roof, but it's from several blocks away. Or you hear the sound of a door slamming, but coming from a different direction. But it's one of those things where right now you're feeling very super hyper aware of like, and every little sound, it's like, oh wait, one of those. But you don't see anything. So Thunuk, are you doing the healing touch?
Yeah. Healing word, actually, that's what it's called. And there's no touch involved because of that, I guess. And that is the best heal roll I've done in a long while. 8 points.
Oh my god.
For our rat friend, and
you have like a buff rat now.
You gave him too much healing, and he goes,
yeah. You healed him too much.
I was gonna think more along it grows like an extra couple of sizes and roids out. And it's like, I am now complete.
I have reached my ultimate form.
It's a little rat hair glowing. And then also casting.
Damn you, Kakarots!
Speak with animals.
It is looking a little swole right now. I will tell you that. It's looking a little
bloated with positive energy.
It's looking like it might have. It's gains o'clock, man. It's supplements, other supplements.
And I'd like to point out, Thunuk has used 3 first level spell slots tonight just in interacting with rats.
Just interacting with rats.
So he's like, "What happened, buddy? What's going on?"
Oh, thank God! Oh, thank the gods! Holy shit! You got no fucking idea. Have you seen this fucking thing?
I've only read about that.
It is fucking huge. Oh my God! So we ran into it, and we tried to get away to come find you, but it started fucking eating us. Listen, I lost like 20 brothers already. There's only like 600 of us left. It's just, oh, you got no fucking idea. Holy shit. I thought I was done for.
Where did you go?
Well, I was a little busy, getting fucking eaten, but I think it went up. I think I saw a climb that it's going up under the fucking rooftops.
Yeah, oh no.
It was checking out. It was looking in windows. It was looking around like it keeps on like checking houses, but it hasn't been going in. And it's been like trying to get away. Like the watch guys, those fuckers have been coming around. And it just goes like it's been trying to hide. But for some reason, when it saw us, it was like, hey, it's the fucking buffet. And it tried to fucking eat us. And then, fucking Bruno tried to like eat its eyes. And that didn't really end well for him. And well, that's some of him over there. And that's the rest of him over there. But he was kind of a dick anyway, so we don't really fucking care. But, I mean, who the fuck attacks a fucking werewolf? Look at us. We're small. The thing's fucking huge. It's fucking, But anyway, so, yeah, I think it's been going up on the roofs. And that's the last I saw it. But I think you guys are going to need, you gotta go get fucking more people. Because this ain't enough people. This is, oh, shit. This is, hey, Speaking of which,
what?
Roll for initiative.
Uh-oh.
Speaking of which,
I think that this is funny because Hugon is like probably like staring into the alley, like, what the absolute fuck are you doing?
I need to write something. Hang on, where am I? Shit, I just had blank cards. There. No, that counts. All right. So, anyone get 20 to 25?
gonna say no. I don't remember where initiative is on here.
Just it's your roll plus your dex bonus.
Oh well, in that case, I got a 6.
Okay. Anyone 15 to 20? No.
Uh-oh.
Okay. 10 to 15.
Yes.
What'd you get?
12.
12. Uh-oh. 5 to 10. We got a 6 out of Thunic. What did you get, Hugo? Oh God.
Oh no.
I got a 3.
Oh Jesus. Oh
Yay!
sweet God.
Rolled
All
a
right.
natural 1 on initiative.
Oh
Why?
wow. Okay. Well,
feel
this
like
actually
tell
would
me-
this narratively this works.
Initiative is in giant letters right here in the middle of the screen. I'm like, where is it?
So the rat like points up and scurries the fuck away from there. A little faster than usual, because
Werewolf.
He-
And it's buff.
and he didn't skip cardio this week, He didn't skip cardio. But because he was able to point the werewolf out to you, the werewolf does not get a surprise attack. So but coming, leaping, snarling, and slathering with these inhuman yellow eyes and matted fur and ears that are like too long and come to ragged points and claws and teeth, comes hurtling down from the top of this roof at you. And Thonic, he's interested in you,
Oh,
the biggest target that he can find.
I'm a lot of meat.
You are a lot of meat.
You're what is called a good haul.
Prime, grade A prime meat. So he's gonna come down, and the first thing that comes down are these two, just wicked claws, that just seem too long for the body.
May I ask a question?
You may ask a question.
Having been warned by my rodent friend, do I get a reaction?
I'll allow it.
Now, this is the first reaction I've ever gotten in D&D. What can I do with a reaction?
Well, that depends. Do you have any skills that are triggered through a reaction? So, for example, if you are a rogue,
Mhm.
uncanny dodge is a reaction. So anytime that anyone attacks you, you can use that as a reaction. But you can't use it like you can't like act like it's not like, oh, on my turn I do uncanny dodge. It's more like you can just use it like that.
I have nothing like that. I have a few bonus action thingies.
You have to wait
An
till your
attack of opportunity reaction.
not so much in this case. I don't think this.
Oh
would
wait, no, I can do that because I have a feat.
Oh,
yeah, that's
And
yeah.
Can I basically then roll into a defensive position with my weapon between me and it?
You would have to wait till your turn to do that.
Okay.
So, sorry, but you're gonna have. It's
First time I ever get a reaction thing. I have nothing that uses reaction.
Well, there,
Can I have this? You may. Can you do anything? No.
you can have it, but you can do. No.
But I let you have it.
All right. So this is. Okay. So
Hey,
this.
under my reaction things, I have opportunity attack.
But
That's
it's only
if
when
that's
if
if they leave. That's if they leave your square.
Ah,
Now, so
okay.
Hugon has a feat that if they enter within the range of his weapon, which is 10 feet, he then can attack as an opportunity because that's a feat taken based on his background. But anybody, if you're already engaged with someone, unless they have a skill that allows them to disengage, unless they have a skill that lets them do that. So goblins, for example,
Mm-mm.
can disengage as a bonus action. Most characters, though, most classes, you have to use disengage as your action. If you don't, as you move out of their square, they get an opportunity attack. So even if they're like passing by, not as they enter, but as they leave. So if they're running past you, as they run past you, you can get an opportunity attack.
Okay.
So, but this guy's coming down on top of you from the roof, and there's like some of the roof tiles are falling, as it like jumps off and dust, and it gets 2 claw attacks.
And I'm assuming none of these things count as any form of elemental attack, like acid, cold, or fire.
No, they do not.
That is the one reaction thing I had. It's dampen elements. I
Um,
have to remember that one.
so does a 15 hit?
No.
Okay. The second claw attack. Does
You need at least a 16.
well. How does a
Or,
20?
wait,
How does a
either-
20? How does a 20 work for you?
It beats my AC by 4.
Okay, so we'll do the claw attacks first here. That is going to
Hang
be-
on. As a reaction, he sees the werewolf like about to hit
Mhm.
Thunuk, and he says, "Don't you need a license to be that ugly?" And I'm gonna subtract 8 from your damage roll.
8?
Yeah, I just rolled an 8 on an 8-sided die.
What does that do? What are you doing?
It's cutting words.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so before I know the result of his damage roll, I can expend a use of bardic inspiration. And I can subtract
That's awesome.
a
That's
D8 from his
neat.
damage roll.
Don't you need a license? I like that.
Don't you need a license to be that ugly?
Okay, so this is going to
Around here?
subtract. This is going to subtract 5 from one of these claw attacks here. So what happens if it completely negates it? Is that possible?
I think it can because it's so it says as a reaction when a creature that's not immune from being charmed, you can see within 60 feet makes an attack roll, ability check, or damage roll. You can expend 1 use of bardic inspiration, roll the die, and subtract the number from the creature's roll.
Well,
And do so after,
he-
after the roll, but before knowing the result.
basically he healed you for 1 point. He didn't actually heal you for 1 point.
Okay.
But now, so it goes in for these claw attacks, and Eno distracts it with his cutting
Cutting.
words,
Cutting
cunning,
words.
cunning and cutting words.
Cutting.
You hurt its feelings so bad that the claw attack turned into sort of like a friendly shoulder pat. Like I'm really sorry.
I'm sorry, dude. Sorry.
I'm the one who's hurt. Please.
You have no idea how much that hurts. I just no. So he like looks over at you as he's swiping, and like misses. But then he like quick turns back, Thunuk, and he tries to do a bite,
Oh. Like
Do a
bites.
and he misses.
Oh.
So as he's coming around, the jaws, these slathering jaws, just ichor just pouring out from the mouth. Just he comes around and he goes for this bite, but you're able to quickly like just kind of get it out of the way. Eno, it is your turn.
All right. I am going to say, I've seen people like you before, but I had to pay admission. And I'm going to
I love how these are all like playground insults.
yeah. And this is vicious mockery.
Okay.
So it is a wisdom 15 DC saving throw. So you roll a saving throw, DC 15. It's a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. So what am I trying to hit here? It's a wisdom saving.
It's
throw.
wisdom saving throw, and the DC is 15.
That's a jack die. No, he fails
Okay,
miserably.
so that's going to be 2d4 psychic damage.
Okay.
So that's a 3 and a 4. So that's 7 psychic damage. And he has disadvantage, or it has disadvantage on its next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
Okay. So I'm sorry. What was the damage on it? You said
7 psychic
seven.
damage. Yeah.
Minus. I can't do math. Brian, do math. Brian, do math.
Watch Brian do math.
Oh
Math,
God!
Brian.
Don't watch that. Don't watch that. Okay.
Okay.
All
So
right.
he has disadvantage on its next attack roll.
It's like the ears are now like back against the back of its head. The ears are like slicking back now, and its gaze is firmly locked on you.
All right.
Thunuk, it is
Mhm.
your turn.
Is it still on top of me?
It's like it's with it. It's on you. It hasn't moved yet. But it is. You can see it's looking.
So wait, it's on top of me, or
No, it landed like it. No, it didn't like tackle you to the ground. It was like as it came down, you were able to get enough out of the way because you had that warning, and then it tried to attack you. It didn't hit with anything. Eno said some mean things to it, and it's
And
kind of
it's facing away from me.
not.
I'm not looking at this as like a functional for like thing, but I just have a dumb idea that I suddenly thought about that I want to try.
Well, you
It's
know
gonna
what?
go-
I endorse dumb ideas here, so let's go ahead and say yes. That it is looking. It's not necessarily like facing away, but it's like it's kind of like it did one of these. Like it was attacking you and like, like one of those where it's like,
Mm, I was thinking full Nelson time.
you can certainly try.
Grapple?
Okay.
You gonna try a grapple?
I have no idea how to do a grapple. I don't
So
have.
it's a contested strength.
Oh, good luck
It's
on
either
that one, buddy.
Strength or athletics, if I recall. I don't remember. The grappling rules have always been very arcane.
Well, I have D&D Beyond, so let me ask D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond, how do I grapple? You don't. How dare you?
Alexa-
You don't have that feat.
Alexa, how do I do a grapple in Dungeons and Dragons?
Let's see. A grapple. When you want to grab a creature or wrestle it, you can use the attack action to make a special melee attack. A grapple. If you're able to make multiple attacks with the attack action, this attack replaces one of them. The target of your grapple must be no more than one size larger than you and must be within your reach. Using at least one free hand, you try to seize the target, making a grapple check instead of an attack roll. A strength athletics check contested by the target's strength athletics or dexterity acrobatics.
Mm-hmm.
Check the target. Check. The target chooses the ability. Blah blah blah. You succeed automatically if the target is incapacitated. If you succeed, you subject the target to the grappled condition. The condition specifies the things that end it, and you can release the target whenever you like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, so it's contested strength athletics check.
Okay.
All right, so here
Come
we
on.
go.
Please don't be horrible.
Ooh.
You rolled a 1, didn't you?
No. 22.
It is grappled.
Okay. Now here's why it's dumb. The follow-up requires another action, which I don't have.
Well, you'll have another turn, maybe.
All right.
So, but at this, so you full Nelson this thing as it's turned away. You're wah, and just and tie, and you have this thing tied up now.
Okay. Bonus action.
Okay.
Spiritual weapon at 4th level.
Oh dear.
I have grappled it. I'm
Mhm.
laying on the ground, or we're standing up or whatever, and it's going to get the old nature's fury to the gut.
Oh God.
Can you? Yeah.
Is there
That's pretty
is there a save involved with this?
Let us read the text.
Let
I create a
us.
floating spectral weapon within range that lasts for the duration or until I cast a spell again. When I cast a spell, I make a melee spell attack against a creature.
Okay.
On a hit, it takes 1d8 damage plus spellcasting modifier plus a d8 for every level after above. Ooh,
Oh Jesus
So-
Christ.
it's going to take 3d8 plus 4.
Okay. So
If
so let's do the melee attack first.
22 again.
Woohoo!
Nice.
That's 2-8. No, wait, hold on. My attack roll for the spell attack. Oh yeah, 22. Spell modifier is 4. Okay. No.
Nope.
Come on.
Yes.
Go away. Go away,
Maybe.
screen.
No.
That was more. It's 25.
Okay. Well, either way, that is a hit. And what is the form of this of your spiritual weapon taking in this fine summer's evening?
Oh, it's nice and summery, is it?
It is.
This is the traditional log that has grown around a rock, but the rock is now covered in lush moss, and there are flowers, flowery vines coming up towards the log, towards the rock, in full bloom. So that as it swings through the air, going straight forward, there's like sparkly like pollen flying off. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's not 3d8. It's 2d8.
Okay.
Still.
Plus 4. So 9.
Okay. All right. And now, or is there anything else you want to do on your turn? Any movement? Or no, you got it a grapple,
No,
so you're proud of stuff.
I got a grapple. Yeah.
Yeah. Hugon.
Okay, so this is a unique opportunity. This creature is grappled.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean for me trying to hit it?
You would have advantage on the attack roll.
Okay.
It is incapacitated. Oh
If
wait,
that-
no, it's an automatic success if it was incapacitated. It is a grappled creature's speed becomes 0. Can't benefit from any bonus to its speed. Condition ends with grapple is incapacitated. Removes grapple. All right, never mind.
Okay, so I'm going to.
This is neat. This is fun.
I don't know how successful Thunuk is going to continue to be with this, and it was an extremely ballsy move. So I think we need to take take as much opportunity to make this work for us as we can. So
Yeah, I like the cut of his jib,
I'm
son.
gonna try to.
I like your initiative.
I'm gonna try to attack it 4 times.
Oh Jesus Christ. Okay. Now
So, and I have advantage, right? According to
Okay.
Brian.
you do have advantage.
On all
Oh, actually,
rolls?
it'll be 5 times. It'll be 1 attack, and then my bonus action attack from my polearm feat.
Mm-hmm.
Then a second attack, and then I will action surge and attack it 2 more times.
Okay.
When did I get Dominate Beast?
Oh Jesus Christ.
I have a 26 for the first attack.
That would hit.
I'm just gonna roll all these, Brian.
Yeah, that makes more
And
sense.
For the blunt attack, I
Mm-hmm.
have a 22.
Okay. Now the blunt attack, because that item is not magic or silvered, from the blunt end, it wouldn't actually. It would
be subject to the damage reduction.
It's immune to that.
Okay, well then fine. We'll
Yeah.
just pretend that like it was cool looking.
You
but
hit
didn't
it.
Really...
You hit it, but it was more like a what?
Force of habit sort of thing, probably.
Yeah, it's just an automatic.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, for
so-
cinematically,
yeah.
it makes sense.
Third attack is a God. This advantage is saving my life. Is a 25,
Okay.
and then action surge. And I will now roll my other 2. That is a 24,
That would hit.
and lastly, a 21.
That would all hit.
Okay. All right. So I don't roll the d4 because it's immune.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the. Actually, I have enough d10s that I can almost do this all at once.
What's it immune to?
Non-silver, non-magical.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
So here's the first 4d10. And because I have Great Weapon Mastery, if it's a 1 or a 2, I can re-roll it, but I have to take the second result.
Mm-hmm.
So. $46 total damage.
Jesus Christ. 46?
Half of that comes from having +2 to damage on that halberd because
Oh,
it's a
my
nice
word.
halberd.
It is a nice halberd.
So 4 attacks at +5 damage is 20, and then I rolled 22 on the die
Alrighty.
over the course of 5 attacks. It's not all at once. I don't know if that matters, but
That's a lot of damage. So you're able to just to sit there and basically poke. You know,
it's just like whack, whack, whack.
You're just
stab,
going- you're-
stab.
just going ham on this thing.
Really getting a feel for the halberd. Just be like, hold him there.
Mhm.
That's perfect. just ooh, it feels good.
So now the werewolf is going to make an attempt to break this grapple, because it's not a happy werewolf right now. I mean, it wasn't like in the best of moods before, but now it's not. Now it's really unhappy. So it's going to use. It's going to try to break this grapple.
Okay. So it's contested athletics.
Contested athletics. I'm doing this right.
So Eno sees it starting to struggle, and he goes, "Nope, you're still super ugly." And
I love that you can just do that whenever you want. It's fucking amazing.
And I got a 3 this time. So you subtract 3 from his check.
All right. So what was the what did you get there?
I got a 21.
He does not have a 21. So he is still grappled, but he's gonna make another attempt at it because he gets a few different attacks here.
Options.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's gonna. So you gotta contest this again.
23.
Nope, that's not it. And he's gonna contest it one more time. He's using his third and final attack.
21 again.
You're
Oof.
rolling like a god,
Damn.
bro.
Yeah.
We're
This is
rolling
my-
pretty good today.
This is for my second set of dice that I ever bought, and it usually rolls like garbage. But today, I don't understand.
So it's struggling and snarling and like just getting like all thrashing about. But Thunuk, you're able to sit there. You've got this thing yoked up, and it's thrashing about, and you're relatively easily holding it in place.
Mhm.
It's definitely you're a big boy. You're our big capybara guy, not big chupacabra boy. That's something else
No,
entirely.
that's yeah. As if he gets bit by this werewolf, he's going to be big capybara guy on full moon nights.
Big chupacabra. Capybara
We'll
becomes
just shame you in
chupacabra.
place. It'll be fine.
That would be horrifying.
It would be a problem.
A werewolf fearbog. Oof. Eno.
So Eno has his shiny borrowed sword in
Mhm.
one hand, and he has his old not very shiny rapier.
Mhm.
So he's 2 rapiers, and he sees his opportunity. He doesn't normally, like, he knows how to use them, but he doesn't normally do it. So he's going to give it a shot. So that's does a 20 total 20 hit?
Yes.
Okay.
Total 20 does in fact.
All right,
hit.
so that's the regular rapier, and
Oh, you're dual wielding?
yeah, I have 2 weapon fighters.
Oh
Awesome.
well, so the
That's cool as hell.
your regular rapier though isn't silvered or
It's gonna
magical,
be
correct?
half. Yeah, it's gonna be half, right?
He's immune to that.
Oh, it's completely immune to it.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. Eno doesn't know.
Yeah,
So-
so he stabs, and it basically
Yeah.
does that thing where like with the fencing foil where it hits and it just bends. Yeah.
And then he's like, and he kind of puts that back, and he's like, all right, try this new one. Oh shit, 20.
Womp, like nat
7.
20?
Yeah, nat 20.
Oh,
Oh,
womp, womp,
no.
womp, womp,
My
womp.
second 20 of the night. Holy shit.
Your second
All right.
bump.
All right, so that's gonna be 8 plus 4. Ooh, 6. That's not bad. So that's 10.
10.
10
okay.
damage.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Anything else you want to do on that turn? As if you
Yeah.
haven't done enough already.
He is going to step back about
Mm-hmm.
15 feet away. So he's gonna kind of take a few steps back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming there's the room behind me to back away. Since-
Yeah.
Since
Yeah.
he's grappled.
Yeah, you're in this alley, and there's probably about 10, 15 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, I just texted you. Yeah. Yeah. There's enough room to move around. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So he backs off.
Okay. Thunuk.
All right, so here's where the cool stuff comes in. First, we're gonna do the bonus action, and that is a spell melee attack. That's a 23. So does 23? I think we said 23 hits. Or do those hit? Yes.
23 does hit. Yes.
Okay, so he gets 2d8 plus 4. That's 8 points.
8 points of damage.
Mhm.
So wait, I'm sorry. What was this again? I'm sorry. I'm.
This is the holy weapon. Not the holy weapon.
The spiritual weapon. Okay.
Spiritual weapon. Yeah.
So that does 8 points. So that minus 8. God damn it, Brian. Do math. I'm having a hard time. This is what happens when I get sleep deprived. Okay. There. No.
What minus 8?
There we go. Okay, that's the correct number. Okay, there we go.
All right, now here's what it gets interesting.
Mm-hmm.
At third level, Spirit Guardians.
Oh God.
You're pulling out all the stops on this guy. I love it.
It's a scary ass thing, and it makes more of itself, and it hurts people, and it's not good. It's bad.
Listen, I applaud this decision-making process.
The four do not like werewolves. They do not like these things that are a perversion of nature. So he's got to go. Do I even roll attack on this?
Spiritual Guardians? No, it's a save if I remember.
It's a save.
Save or receive ass whooping.
And I think it's on their turn, correct?
Yes. But he's going to be getting 3d8. I think it's just hard 3d8. There's no plus bonus to this.
Okay, so when it rolls around to his turn again, we do the save.
Infected creature space. Fail save. Wait. When does it? Is it their turn?
I thought it was at the start of their turn if they're still in the affected area.
Yes. That's when they enter it though.
Or if they
already in.
Yeah, but I think it's on their...
So just sort of walk him into it.
Oh God.
Yeah, you stand here.
Wait.
No, it's more like it's like Phil like pushing his head into like a running bench grinder. You know.
Oh God.
Punisher style.
Okay, Spirit Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
It says that any number of creatures that are affected by affected creatures have an area when the creature All right, so when a creature enters the area for the first time on a turn, or for the first time on a turn, or starts its turn there, it must make a Wisdom saving throw.
Starts a turn there. Okay, yes.
So you activate it, and then it will be at the start of his turn that we determine how much, if any, damage. So I think it's like even if he fails, it's halved.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So still, you're gripping this. You're gripping this abomination up, and it's just it's thrashing about and snarling and snapping and trying to get away, and you just calmly say your prayer.
Yep. It just starts praying. He just starts praying to the four, and these little windows into various seasons start manifesting and spinning around him.
Mm-hmm. So as you do this, though, you feel a little scritch on your shoulder, and it's the rat.
Oh.
That you just spoke to, your Squall buddy.
Oh.
And he goes, "Hey, I don't know how to tell you this. That ain't the wolf that attacked us."
Yes.
That ain't him. That's something different. There's a different, similar, looks similar, but this guy is not the one.
There's more?
Yeah, not this guy. I didn't know. But I'm looking at him. And it's not this guy, it's the other guy.
And this entire time, of course, this is
in Squeak.
Speak with Animals, so it's all squeaks.
He's like, yeah,
and
this is the other guy.
Thunix starts speaking to you guys, but in a sort of frantic tone. But it squeaks and speaks at the same time. At most, you're getting the idea that there's something horrible going on.
No, that's fair. Hugon will ignore it because he thinks that you're being ridiculous again, and does not really have the time or patience because he has a werewolf to kill.
Well, speaking of which, it is Hugon's turn. So let us.
Hugon, the creature is still grappled?
The creature is still grappled.
All right, so I'm only going to be able to do my normal 2 attacks.
Oh.
Oh no.
That's such
Drat.
a shame. Drat.
Blast and damn. I only get 2.
Curses.
So, advantage. Oh, that is a 17.
A 17 would hit, yes.
And second attack, also a 17.
Ooh, that is 2 hits then.
I think he may have like pulled something in his shoulder doing those 5. Like,
Oh.
you know, little lower roll. Maybe calm down. I'm not a young man anymore.
With
So-
these multi-attacks every round, not everyone can do that anymore.
Oh, Jesus God. No. Okay, that is 25 total.
Ooh. Okay. This werewolf is not looking good, because he's been sitting there, and Hugon and Eno, you guys have been taking turns basically sticking pointy things into it.
Mm.
Just,
Trying different forms on it, like really testing the balance of this weapon.
it's snarling. It's you know, like straining. You could see
Mhm.
like in between like its manky fur, because it's not like furry like a thick pelt like a normal dog, right? It's just like stringier fur, so you can see the gray skin underneath, and you can see like the veins bulging and the tendons in the neck straining as it's trying to break free and get through to you. And it's not looking good. Blood pouring out of the various holes that you've put into it.
Mhm.
You know, it's starting to, some of the saliva is getting all frothy, and it too is starting to turn a little pink from the foam. But that is when you hear a snarling from behind you, Hugon.
Hugon is like, okay. He's excited. He turns around and goes, "Come to join us?"
Now, what is the range? Okay. So what is the DC that, because this werewolf is now entering into your realm of spirit guardians.
Oh,
Thunic. So we do have to take that into account, because he is
wisdom 15.
Wisdom 15. Let's try that again. 15 on the nose.
Oh, dang.
So it takes half damage on that.
17. Rounding up or down?
In damage, you round down.
Okay, so 8.
Okay. So, but Hugon, it's trying to it has some opinions it wants to share with you, but it feels the best way to just to express those opinions are in a physical manner.
Cool. All right. Well,
So-
if he approaches me, I do get to attack him.
You do get to attack him.
I believe a 10 in this case does not hit.
A 10 does not hit. So you spin around to face it and try to do like a thrusting maneuver, and it bats your halberd aside and lunges in.
Okay.
And it's going to go for some claws. It wants to give you a tender caress.
Sounds romantic.
It is. It is incredibly romantic.
Oh, another ugly one. Come to join the fray. I'm going to subtract a D8 from that attack roll.
I love that you can do that. I love that
That's
so
gonna
much.
be -4 to your attack roll.
-4 to the attack roll. Well, that's still a 19.
Ooh.
Does that hit?
Hang on. I need to check.
Now we knew
no.
your character from the last game we played, that would not have hit,
It would not have. You are
He-
absolutely correct.
because he was
But
at,
his AC is an 18.
so with
Ah.
so Thatgo not in play here. So that's claw number 1. Claw number 2 does not hit. That is definitely not a hit. A 16 does not hit. So he is going to do for his claw attacks here. Where's my die? Okay. He does 6 damage with that.
Okay.
So he claws in there for 6 damage, but then he goes in for he would like to taste you, and he
Oh.
and he even says that as he's like clawing on, like he claws you, and he buries these claws in you, and he gets real close into your face, and like his like snout is like right on the mask, and like the stench from his breath is able to get through, and and like little bits of like the condensation on the mask is forming from his hot breath, and he just goes, "I want to taste you."
They can talk?
That'll be 20 gold.
21.
Okay.
So let's do the damage first, which is these guys here. So 4, 3, 7, 8, 9 points of damage as he sinks his teeth in, but you feel the saliva like burning as it enters your bloodstream.
Mhm.
And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Fortunately, I have advantage thanks to Eno.
Yes.
Well, it's the Constitution checks.
Oh,
Does that count?
No, this is a con save.
this is safe.
Yeah, I don't think.
And
it
I don't
counts.
have advantage. But I rolled a natural 19.
No.
So that is a 25.
So you feel, but you feel like you kind of like are able to shrug off the the feel of the poison as it starts to course through your veins. But he now knows that you are indeed a tasty treat. So we're back up to werewolf number 1, the grappled werewolf, the grappled,
He must save.
who is now going to attempt to contest his current captivity.
Well, he has to save first.
Oh, that's right. He has to do the save. He does an 18, so I think that would probably account for that. So he's going to do half damage. What do we get?
Let's see, it's 14, 7.
7. Okay. So now he's going to do some attempts to get out of your, so far, unbreakable grip. It's like...
I like to think of it as a tender embrace. Because technically, Thunuk isn't really being ultra violent.
He's just hugging him. It's just the
Yes.
biggest bear hug you could imagine. I just want to love you.
And he has to beat a dirty 20.
Well, he just rolled a nat 20.
Oh, dang.
So he's able to, like, break it out, and he's able to swipe back with just one of his claws. Where he does a dirty 20.
I hits.
Okay. For 7 damage.
Well, there goes all my temp hit points.
Oh, so you mean we're only down into your normal hit points now?
Yes.
Oh. And now he's going to come in for his bite. He's going to try to take a chunk out of it. He would like to know what Firbolg tastes like.
Ooh.
I wish to taste your flesh. 21.
Yes.
So we'll do damage first.
Okay.
Which is 5 points of damage. But you too, as he sinks his teeth in, and you feel this pestilence start entering into your arm, where he's gotten his bite there, and you need to make a con saving throw.
I get a bonus to that, don't I?
Do you?
Yes.
Do you?
Bard friend.
No, that was from that's
Yeah,
it's a
it
check.
doesn't work.
It's a con check.
Oh, it's a check. Oh.
Yeah,
Not a con save.
we did it wrong once. We, probably shouldn't do it wrong again.
17.
Yes, you're able to. You're natural. You've probably spent a lifetime achieving a natural immunity to certain toxins in nature, and so you feel like, it's gonna leave a mark. Might need to put some of your poultices in there, but you're not too concerned at the moment. Eno.
Eno centers himself and looks at the one that just broke free of the grapple and starts whispering a discordant melody
Ooh.
towards it. So it's like almost like chalkboard scratching.
Ooh.
At that thing.
Physically, it's like when you have a pen, one of those clicker pens, but you try to write with it when the pen's not out.
Yeah. So this is a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw that this
Ooh.
creature has to make.
Okay. It does not.
All right, it's gonna take.
Are werewolves undead?
That's
No.
gonna be 20 points of damage.
Holy
Damn!
Yeah.
shit!
That was cast Dissonant Whispers at the 3rd level.
Oh my god!
That's a
Gross.
5d6. And is it still alive?
Barely.
Okay.
It like
So-
so as this happens, the ears just go flat against its head, and it's just kind of and like it's and you can just see it is involuntarily like convulsing from the sound of this entering into its brain pan.
Yeah, this is psychic damage, and it immediately has to use a reaction if available to move as far away as its speed allows away from me.
It starts running down the alley. It gets on like on all fours and just gallops the
Yeah.
full. Let's see how far does it.
It
move?
leaves my threatened square.
Yeah, you can move 40 feet. Okay. So does that mean you get your attack of oh yeah, you do. So that means that all 3 of you get an attack of opportunity on this as it tries to skedaddle out of the way here because you guys are kind of tightly.
We're
formed
fighting
there.
in a broom closet with
Yeah.
2 werewolves, essentially.
All right.
So everybody gets an attack of opportunity here. Everybody, please roll their d20s.
That's nice.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. That's a tasty 22 on my end.
Okay.
25.
And
Oh,
and Thunic.
I believe this is going to be my lowest roll yet of the evening.
So what, like a 15?
Oh, it was an 8. I just have to find what my modifier is for quarterstaff attack +7. So 15.
remember to add 2
Oh.
to that.
Oh, 17.
You hit. You all hit.
I did
8
8 damage.
8 damage. Everyone roll damage on this.
10 damage.
Okay.
D8 +2. I think we said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
your
1d
D8 plus your strength plus 2 more
Yeah.
because of the weapon.
Yes, because of the
Okay.
weapon.
9.
All right. So you guys took this down to about -15.
Nice.
How do you want to do this?
Was this the new one or the old one?
This is the old vamp.
The
this
one
is the
we
one
were
who just
fighting.
broke your grapple.
Okay.
The one
Yeah.
that broke your grapple. So please, everyone, describe to me because you have an option. You have the ability to do like a team attack here, like a team ultimate right here.
I think what happens first is Hugon just doesn't even take his eyes off the one in front of him now. He just backswings with the hooked end of the halberd to trip it and just sort of like let that happen and then return his attention to this.
Okay, so yeah, so you just have this sense, your battle sense around you, and so you basically and you sweep around and you're able to knock its feet out from underneath it, severing a tendon, and it basically you hamstring it, and it just goes down hard onto its hip, and it's still like trying to hold itself up. Its massive, lanky form still trying to attack and still trying to hold on to the last little bit of life that it has. Eno and Thunic, how do you want to finish this?
I take old 1945 and I stab it into in the chest. I try and stab it sort of like in its front region,
Mm-hmm.
as close to the chest as I can.
The sword slips between the ribs as if there is no resistance whatsoever. It is like watching them. It is the sensation of watching them take the heated cheese, the half minute of cheese, and just swipe off the cheese onto the potatoes. That's like just slides in as if there is nothing there, like a hot knife through silk.
Nice.
And then Thunic, you see this now. So tripped, Eno does
To a
his
stab.
rapace, if that's a thing. It sounds like it would be a fencing term.
RIPOSTE. Yeah.
Riposte, yeah.
Don't say it like that. Don't say it.
Raposti.
Stop it.
Riposta. I mean,
Stop it.
it's delicious and violent. Thunic's initial reaction was he was going to stop this thing from running
Mm-hmm.
and clothesline it with his new fancy stick.
Oh shit. Okay.
So,
So
so he gets it like square in the throat as it's like falling. It like
so it falls, and then it stops short onto Eno's sword. It basically, so as Eno is like stabbing, it comes forward, and Eno, you're up to the hilt on this thing, and the sword's protruding out the back. And Thunic, I think you're expecting way more resistance, and you knock this thing, and the throat just crushes, and the head like collapses on top, completely lifeless. The ghost has left the machine. and it slumps into a pile of meat. Um, the other werewolf, seeing this, uh, attempts to disengages.
Ah. Well, we can't have that.
Yes, it disengages. So it uses it does that too, so that way you can't get your attack of opportunity here, and it very quickly disappears up into the rooftops and sprints away into the night.
Damn.
Its black fur blending in with the shadows and shade of the evening, and quickly disappears from sight. And as you are watching this thing disappear, moving at inhuman speeds, which is not atypical of a werewolf, you hear a very distant howl, an inhuman howl from a distance. You hear several other howls rise in response at distances all over the Chandlewood. And when you look down to the corpse of the werewolf you had just slain, it is reverted back to its human form, as is typical of when this happens. And you see in front of you the body of the former member of the Watch, Eliborn, the one you had rescued, the one that had wandered into the one that you had.
Oh, that guy!
Mhm.
Right.
That one of the surviving Watch members.
Oh.
That had come back, that had been brought back into town and was quite beat up. You find his lifeless corpse lying in front of you.
Pretty fucked up too.
Clothes shredded, marks all over from where the different stabby wounds had gone. But his head almost detached from his body. There's not even meat there. Like the bone was completely pulverized by Thunok's attack, and the meat itself was actually very well tenderized. So the head's not sitting on the shoulders quite the right way.
Eno looks down at his rapier and he says, "We might need to borrow these for more than a night."
And like Hugon, in a moment of like, kind of like, he's frustrated that it got away, but not because like he didn't kill it, but because the fight didn't last longer. He's like, yeah, I think we can arrange something with Hollander, because we're hunting that son of a bitch down.
That's not a knoll. I don't think those things in the forest that we were talking about earlier are knolls. I don't think the kids saw knolls. I think they saw werewolves.
Well, good. That's even better.
Yeah, it's
You
an army
kill
of
one knoll,
werewolves.
you killed them all. Werewolves are a bit different.
And on that note,
Because you see, you got to try not to get hit.
and on that note, that is where we will end this week's game. So, okay, Hugon's cracking his knuckles. All right, it's party time. Let's go. Excellent. So we're going to take the briefest of breaks once again, come back with Table Talk for just a little bit. We will get Clue's opinions about the game that we played here. We will get her complete and total breakdown of the action here. And then when she's done talking, we'll talk about our favorite moments of the game. Actually, Clues is not here, so that part.
Oh,
won't
I
happen.
thought I was like, I didn't see that. I was like, I thought she announced. I didn't realize she was in chat, but she's not here.
No, she is not here. Okay, so we're gonna go take the brief break, and we will be Burb.
Got him.
Okay, we are back with Table Talk. We are pleased to announce that next week we're going to have special guest star Kato Kalin joining us.
No,
on
we
the
are
show.
not. No, don't say that.
God.
No, stop. Cease and desist.
Wow.
No, he's
We're
not.
not
Listen,
actually doing that.
Listen, for all I know, he could be like the absolute nicest guy you've ever met.
Oh no, I'm sure.
And he
but,
might be a huge, and listen, if he's at Wizard World, he might be an enormous nerd. But it's just kind of, it's So, anyway,
No, I'm good.
okay. Anyway, any favorite moments from the game? Let's start with Mr. Gentle Trunk, Viking
Oh.
Goat Prime.
The return of our rat friends. Yeah, Thunic was actually he was beside himself to learn that. Hold on, let's let me do some math here. 20 divided by 600. 3% of the rat population of Pinedale was wiped out in an instant.
Everyone will remember that day. Years from now, you'll remember where you were when you found out about the great rat eradication.
It's a retastrophe. Retastrophe.
The eradication?
shut up.
Or is eradication? Yeah. It's good.
But yeah, he went from being beside himself to like, oh, it's not a big deal. You're fine with it, so whatever.
Well, just the one guy anyway, right?
Yep.
Okay. Cleric.
Definitely the opportunity to play dress up, so to speak, in the weapons shop. That was fun. That was an interesting, fun little bit.
Eno.
I
The
have to
Roz.
I have to go with the whole interaction between Thunic and the rat guy both times. It was just precious. Oh, you fucking
The rats are fun.
yeah,
They're
it's
fun to
great.
do. I just did a book. I just narrated a book. It was called The Dim-Witted Hitman. It was basically Irish gangsters from Hell's Kitchen that went on a cruise, and so it was. The author wanted the New York accent, so it's a fun accent to do. So I think, as much fun as the rats are, and I enjoy that. I think watching, having Hugon be able to play dress up. I think just that whole. I'm liking the shop. I just like the idea of this shop of.
Yeah,
I
I
already
do
lost
too.
the card. Where the
Hollander's, fine weaponry.
weapons. Yeah,
something
Hollander's
like that.
fine weapons. I think there's gonna be more than one trip there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it's always fun. We can come up with a new location. A new.
The whole like, oh, we're gonna go rob this place moment was pretty
Yeah,
choice.
it's like,
It's
Rob-
amazing.
oh wait, no, you meant actually borrow.
You're actually borrowing. Who would have thought?
What a novel idea.
I'll know to take Thunic more literally next time. I guess.
That's a wise policy.
Yeah.
Oh, and also the it was fun when Eno had a pause in his when he was speaking, when he's saying werewolf. He's like, where wolf?
Ah,
Yeah.
Where?
Over there. Yeah. That was
yeah. I've never got to use Action Surge before in a combat
No.
context. Not in a combat context. No.
Hmm.
that's true. It's so far it's just been
Usually, it's either die the first round or like I'm saving Action Surge for something.
oh, you did use action surge once.
Yeah, it was a brothel though,
Yes.
Oh
my God. All right.
and it was canonical too.
It happened.
Chris Perkins did say that it was acceptable to use.
An
Action surge in a brothel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
I don't have the tweet like saved or anything, but I remember like having a conversation about it.
Yep. Yeah. That is the thing that it does not surprise me. So, yeah. Any other points? Try to think of any other points of business to. We know that the new Ack Inc. book comes out next week,
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and that'll
Today.
be today.
that's the 16th.
Ah.
This is the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Today
you were
is the day.
no, but
Mine
is
shipped.
but is it? Yeah, I was gonna say, but it's not like available anywhere other than order through Penny Arcade, though. Correct?
No, it's Barnes and Noble has it.
Oh, really?
They broke
I
the
didn't know
street
that.
date. Actually, they apparently a couple of the Barnes and Nobles had it like Friday or Thursday or something.
Hmm.
So people had already gone to the store and bought it, and were like, "Hey, I got my book." But yeah, my shipping notice went out Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep hitting the tracking number, and it keeps saying like, "Oh,
We don't know what this is.
Wow.
Yeah,
what?"
that's exactly what it's doing to me.
Mine actually is working now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check it again.
Has it already arrived?
No,
20
it's not gonna arrive
seconds.
until next week.
22nd. That's
Okay.
what I saw on mine.
Shoot,
So-
I hope
So you
it comes before I go. But anyway, whatever.
So we have that. PAX Unplugged. That's obviously on sale still. Is there anything really else that we have going on here that we got? So are we still doing Banner Saga on Late to the Game?
No,
No.
Banner Saga has actually joined the. Whoops! I finished it within the first 15 minutes of the stream today.
Oh,
Club.
Oh, surprise!
I was putting off this thing that's because it seemed like it was going to be like a long battle portion / story portion, and I figured that it's the end of this chapter, and then we go
Nope.
on to the next chapter. It's the end of book 1, which means it's the end of Banner Saga 1.
yeah.
And I just sat there sort of dumbfounded. For a good
It
bit.
just ended.
It just ended, and like there's this long portion of animation. Like, wow, this is beautiful. How are they going to top it with the next chapter of this of this game? And it's like
Credits.
credits.
Did I win?
Like, oh no, oh, you do not win. At the end of this book.
Win? What is win?
There is no winning in Banner Saga. It's just do you have does humanity survive is the win. It's
Let me put it to you this way. I'm not sure that's going to happen after the end of this story because it's spoilery. So if you don't want to hear it, tell me now, or if you're in chat, or if cover your ears.
or mute or
Mute or-
something. Yeah.
Here, this is spoiler. Yeah, so one of the main characters dies, and I'm like, it's Viking funeral time. And I'm like, no, you can't kill this person. I love this person. Everyone loves this person. It's a main character. It's a driving force of the entire story. No, and that's how book 1 ends.
Main character dies. Oh, George R.R. Martin wrote this story. Okay.
Don't say that. George R. R. Martin couldn't write this good of a story.
Wow.
Wow. Well, he doesn't. He never got onto Twitter because he
Probably
already
for the best.
because he already killed 140 characters. So.
Oh God.
So.
Next game is already in the works, and I'm playing Valiant Hearts.
Oh, I thought you were going to do Banner Saga 2.
No, I want to play something short for the next few games,
Okay, fair enough.
and then I'll go on to Banner Saga 2.
I
So
see.
what is
Yeah.
Valiant Hearts?
Valiant Hearts is a game whose story is based off of correspondence from World War I from people who were in the services
Mm-hmm.
of various armies and their family members back home. And this particular story is built around 3 people who I don't know if they're fictional or not. One of which, 2 of which are the father-in-law and the son and his son-in-law,
Mm-hmm.
who live in France. Who was basically the father-in-law is French, and the son, the husband to his daughter is German. So the story starts with World War I happens. All Germans are kicked out of France, including this guy. Every able-bodied man in Germany is conscripted immediately, including this guy. So now he has to go fight his neighbors.
Mm.
And a few weeks later, every able-bodied Frenchman is conscripted, which includes his father-in-law. So now he must go fight potentially his son-in-law.
Mm.
So as you play, you are encountering individuals and items, and you are unlocking. And in some games where you unlock something cool, like a costume or something, you're actually unlocking knowledge about World War One,
Hmm.
information, news articles, things like that. It's educational. It's informative. It's a lot of fun to play.
That sounds really interesting.
And it hasn't been depressing yet, gameplay wise.
Yet.
Gameplay wise, I mean, I'm expecting something horrible to happen to the family members, but the various knowledge that they lay on you during the game, it kind of reminds you that, I mean, war in general is horrible, but that was a pretty horrible war.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was one of the first modern wars fought with still old tactics.
Oh yeah, like
And-
the first level where you play, it's
Mhm.
like, all right, all right, men, you have your guns. Oh,
Charge.
charge! Machine
Over a
gun fire.
600-yard span of mud and craters
Mhm.
into waiting machine gun nests.
Yeah, and
Now
you,
do it again, and
you
do
are
it a
the
third time.
only one who survives. You watch your friends and your compatriots all fall like one after the other as you're rushing down this
Mm.
platformer level. Sure, but it's horrifying.
Yeah.
in a very, very pretty way.
Kind of like Saving Private Ryan.
Yep.
That does sound interesting. That does sound really interesting. There's not a lot set. Not that I can remember on the top of my head. There's not a lot of games that are set during World War One. World War Two is the popular one because that was like, the first like real modern war where they weren't just digging trenches and firing at each other like idiots. Like.
Mhm.
But yeah, not a lot with World War One, and there was a lot of innovation that happened during that war, and a lot of.
Chemical weaponry for one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the first use of the first and only use of chemical warfare during an actual, like. No, like during like wartime, like not like, what's his face from Syria. You used it all the time, or Saddam Hussein used it all the time. It was not like this is like in war. This was a weapon that they used during war. It was like yeah. So that that was the development. That was when the first time they started weaponizing planes. That was like when you had the Red Baron and all the biplanes.
Oh yeah, it's and you have Zeppelins.
Mm-hmm.
Actual Zeppelins in combat. And the introduction of the tank.
Yep, and I think it was the last time that they really like used horses in combat.
Yeah, that had been stopping for, like, the cavalry charge had kind of died in the Crimean War.
Yeah, but I think this was the last time that
still-
there was still. I think this is like the last time that there was actually like a cavalry charge, a horse.
The
That's possible.
last cavalry charge was during World War II.
Oh, really?
Early on, when the Germans marched into Poland or blitzed into Poland, they were
Right. The Polish military wasn't ready.
they weren't ready. All they had for going for them at the time was, and that location was cavalry.
Mm.
So they threw what they had at the tanks, and that was men on horses.
There were actually airplanes in World War One. They threw bombs from them.
Mhm. Yeah, they would carry the bomb in their lap.
They had machine guns.
And they would have to drop the bomb. They literally dropped the bomb off the side of
Set
the plane.
the fuse, timer.
Yeah.
drop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the machine gun, they had like they had a timing belt on it, so that way it would only fire between the propellers. Man, how many propellers do you think they had to go through
Before that one out?
before they finally got like that every time, like? And I hope to God they practiced that on the ground a few times beforehand, because
Probably not.
I don't know. They might have been like, "Oh, we got a timing belt outside our front." Oh shit! No, we were off by one.
This is not actual history related, but there is a show, an anime that I caught recently, called Tanya the Evil.
Okay.
It is set in an alternate universe, fictionalized World War One. It's Germany, but not Germany, basically. And there's magic.
That sounds
interesting.
That sounds somehow worse.
It is worse. Basically, this is one of those shows where the character dies in our world and is reincarnated somewhere else.
Oh.
So they're like, I know how nuclear weapons work, and I understand
That's
magic.
bad.
Yeah.
Oh
So
shit.
basically, they're firing nuclear blasts from a
Oh my god.
carbine rifle.
Oh my god.
This is not. No, that's no es bueno.
No.
No.
We don't like that.
Well, the setting sounds not too dissimilar from Full Metal Alchemist, where that was kind of like World War One-ish with the alchemy, and it was like Germany, but not Germany, right? Oh, they had a Führer, they had it was very
You're a king, which is somehow like Super King.
King Bradley, yeah,
Super King Bradley.
and then they had there's a lot of well, I mean the Ulrichs were basically German, the Rock Bells. There was a lot of German names in there too. So, but
This one is like straight, like this is Europe.
yeah,
You see a map of it. This is Europe.
okay.
It ends the same way World War One ends. Also,
Don't spoil it.
that yeah.
I mean, like you can't spoil history.
No,
As
but,
in,
I mean,
you mean like the war eventually stops?
What? God
What?
damn it! I was gonna read that.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
We got that far in history.
I'm still on the Italian consolidation.
Damn it! I was just into the war in Africa.
Which one?
Or war, if we're talking specifics.
So, all right. Well, I know that our cleric has to leave to attend to other matters,
Like food.
like food. I too
Food.
need some food, and I've got to finish up client projects that are coming due this week. If I could take a moment to do a shameless plug, I think it's going to be on Wednesday. You will be able to get the book, The Nightmare Arcanist, by Shami Stivall, will become available this week, both in print and in audio edition, and I'm narrating the audio edition. It's an excellent book. It's part of a series that's going to be coming out.
Fun.
I would highly, highly recommend it. And then kind of on the history end of it, I don't know when the audiobook's coming out because I haven't finished editing it yet, but the book, The Artisan, which is it's about Serbian POW survivors from World War II. I don't know when that's coming out, though. I know the book's already available, the print edition. But anyway, any other shameless plugs people want to put in there? Because I can't be the only one. Eno's new album drops this week.
Sure.
Sure.
It's a box set called the Puntastic box set.
Why didn't you call it the beatbox?
I didn't call it anything. Listen,
Y'all are making this up.
This is all fiction. It's a story. It's made up. It's not real. All right, cool. Well, we'll be back same bad time, same bad channel next week with more T-Mex. Hopefully with our Tinker Gnome fully intact once again.
but probably without me.
But probably without Eno. But that's
Maybe.
okay.
Maybe probably.
We'll figure it out. It's okay. We'll find a way to forge forward. We've got the party in the same location. Makes this easier to do now.
How many times do we have to save against werewolf bites?
Every time you're bit.
Okay, so it's not like
Yeah, it's not.
saving.
Do a Constitution check. Do 3 Constitution checks a
Well, it
day
used
for
to
the next
be-
3 days.
That's 3 out of 5.
Yeah, if you got bit by a lycanthrope, you saved immediately,
Yeah.
and then like an hour or a minute or a day later, depending on the severity of it, you saved again.
You really want to become a werewolf, don't you?
No, I'm just curious about the ins and outs of it.
How
you
many
know?
times do I have to save?
Let me put my head in your mouth. Yeah, okay, now bite down just a little bit.
I don't think from what I'm looking at here, it's just flat out. It's during that bite, and if you're able to survive or able to keep from being cursed in that bite, you're fine. But every time they bite, there's a chance of you getting infected there. It just might be that they didn't have like the proper molecules enter your bloodstream at that particular time,
Of course.
because they don't have germ theory yet, or maybe they do. I don't know.
Well, we killed one.
You
We'll kill
did.
another.
You killed it dead.
We will kill again.
It has been killed dead. Hey, there's a whole world out there just waiting to be killed.
Truth.
So, anyway, same bad time, same bad channel next week with again 75% of our team, but that's okay. It'll be fine, and we'll make it work. and that's just sort of the nature of things, and it's okay. All right. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Thank you very much for playing. Please watch these end credits, and then have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.